Why it's going bye-bye, I don't know, but it is. So, all of you Facebook Live people. Yeah, I know. I don't know what's happened with it.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for
Everyone on Liberty Eagle, I'm the last one on there. All the other Liberty Eagle people are gone. And I really don't know what's going on.
At discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for a Sienna van at the other tire shops, $175 a tire.
I don't know. Could be.
Tire, just $75 a tire.
Could be.
Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the tire shops around
So
town.
I'm just telling everyone on Liberty Eagle, either go to my Periscope, Brian Craig Show, or Brian Craig on YouTube, because it's going to be gone, unfortunately. Yeah. I know a lot of people. Yeah, so Brian Craig on YouTube and Brian Craig Show on Periscope. I'd rather you go to YouTube, Brian Craig on YouTube. Hey, everyone on YouTube.
FriendlyTire.net.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Avoid probate with a revocable living trust. $350 for single people, $450 for married.
Okay, here we go.
Trust with Attorney Barry.
Yeah, I'll be talking about it a lot during the break, so because I could at any time I could it's going to go away. Liberty Eagle. I'd rather you follow me on YouTube. Can you guys use YouTube? Brian Craig on YouTube. Everyone's got YouTube. I can't help it. It's not my fault. Steve Kane Show. Steve Kane Show. Yeah. I don't know why. Everybody else is off of it. I'm the only one. I'll probably do that, Neil. All righty, yes. My name's Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. It's July 31st, last day of the month. What a long month this is. This month is dragging by, and I don't know why. Yeah, that debate last night. I saw the debate last night. I was periscoping through the first half. I watched the second half. We'll talk about the debate. I've got some clips of it. We'll talk about it, of course. But I got to tell you, I have watched a lot of debates. That was the most terminally boring debate that I have ever seen. And the issues, topics, and their comments and responses, these were right out of the 1970s, 80s, and 90s. I mean, there was nothing new there from the Democrats. Did you hear anything new from a single Democrat last night? I didn't. It's really bizarre. Some of the things that they said just were totally bizarre. You know, Elizabeth Warren has this new thing. Some others believe this too up there, but she was the first one I heard, talking about decriminalizing coming into the United States? Are you kidding me? This is insane. You know, we're going to decriminalize entering the country? Elizabeth Warren actually said that. That means a complete open border policy. I just was like in shock to hear her even suggest something so stupid. What's the point of countries? And why is it only the southern border we're talking about? Why not our municipal borders, our county lines, our state lines? Why do we have any borders whatsoever? You know, this is what's going on with the Democrats. Okay? The Democrats, and Obama was very vocal about this. Barack Hussein Obama. The Democrats are very much against colonialism. You've heard them talk about this a lot. You know, European colonialism in America is, made it what the United States is today, all these terrible things. They call Israel colonist, the Israelis, they're colonists. They're very anti-colonialism, right, the left? Well, what do you think is going on right now that the Democrats are helping along from our southern border. This is not uncontrolled immigration going on at the southern border. This is a colonization of the United States of America by Latin America. So the Democrats that are these anti-colonialists are involved in a very organized, massive colonialism effort. This is colonialism going on. It's no longer out of control border issues. That's really what's going on. Luckily, Trump has stopped it. An invasion of sorts. Yeah. And I talked about this last night on Periscope during the debate. With this uncontrolled immigration that Elizabeth Warren and all the rest pretty much are talking about. There are a couple people there I've never heard of before. I can't even remember their names. The governor of Montana. Who was the guy from Ohio, the congressman that didn't put his hand on his heart during the national anthem? What's wrong with that guy? You've got Elizabeth Warren, who claims to be an Indian, tell us that we should decriminalize entering the United States. People entering, there should be no penalties whatsoever. Just come and go as you wish. And I said this last night on Periscope. She claims to be an Indian. How did uncontrolled European immigration into the Americas, how did that serve the Indian nations? The Indian nations are no more. The Indians, the Native American Indian, they have lost their nations, they have lost their culture. Yeah, some have gotten together and formed tribes and gotten casinos here and there, like we have the Seminole Indian tribe of Florida. By the way, the Seminoles are not indigenous to Florida. But regardless of that, the Indian culture is lost. There is zero Native American culture left. I know you got some people that, wear some headdresses and some Indian-looking clothing, but those are like costumes. Because of uncontrolled immigration from Europe, the Native American Indians, they're gone. There's no Indian nations, and they've lost their entire culture. And you got Elizabeth Warren, who claims to be an Indian, telling us that we should decriminalize immigration. And, I'd like someone to talk to her about that in an interview. I wish I could interview Elizabeth Warren. Because that's what's going on here. They're attempting to take our culture away, the American culture, through this uncontrolled colonialism. This is colonialism, not immigration that's going on. It's also an invasion. It can be both. You can colonize during an attack, during an invasion. You can do both at the same time. But what a pathetic debate last night. So we're going to talk quite a bit about that debate because that's the big story of the day. I'm a little upset, though. I got Dunkin' Donuts coffee, and they put it in a paper cup instead of styrofoam. I really don't like touching paper to my lips while I'm drinking coffee, and it throws me off. If my coffee thing in the morning is off, I'm like messed up for the whole day. So I don't know what's going on at Dunkin' Donuts. This coffee-flavored water they serve, and they put it in a damn paper cup. Where's my styrofoam? I have my styrofoam cup from yesterday. Maybe I could wash it out and pour it in there. All right, my name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. So I said Wawa's better. I have an allergy to the Wawa creamers, and I drink coffee with cream. I have a food allergy to the Wawa creamer. So, so I don't have Wawa anymore. That's just the way it is. 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's our number. By the way, make sure you subscribe to my podcast, The Brian Craig Show Podcast. I'm on Apple Podcast. If you listen to my podcast on another platform, please subscribe on Apple Podcast as well. The Brian Craig Show on Apple Podcast. Over 800 podcast episodes. A new one will be coming today. This afternoon, I will record and upload a new podcast episode of The Brian Craig Show Podcast on Apple Podcast. All right, let's take our first break of the day. We'll be back.
Steve Kane.
You're going to hear me do this a lot. Liberty Eagle is going bye-bye. I don't know why. Has Chris X talked about it, by the way? I was going to get in touch with Chris X. So if you are on Liberty Eagle Facebook Live, it's going to go bye-bye. When? I don't know. So I don't want to lose you guys, but I'm going to lose the ability to live stream on Facebook Live's Liberty Eagle soon. So you can either follow me on Periscope at Brian Craig Show or on YouTube at Brian Craig. Yeah, why did he leave Liberty Eagle? Did he talk about this? Did something happen, Carl, that someone's not telling me? It was very sketchy. Yeah, everybody go to YouTube is what I prefer. Brian Craig on YouTube. Has Chris X talked about it? Has something happened? No, I had some coffee at home before I left. Oh, what the heck? I can't help it. It's going bye-bye. It's not my choice. Okay. Hey, guys. You won't go to YouTube? Oh, well, I'm sorry, Carla. It's not my choice. Everyone's left it. I'm the only one left on Liberty Eagle Facebook Live. Oh, well, I'm sorry, Carolyn. What about Periscope? What can I do? He went with a local station. They loaded up on their Facebook page. Yeah. You can respond on YouTube and Periscope. Probably what I'll end up doing is... why can't I get another slide? Yeah, I'll probably go to my my Facebook page. I have a Brian Craig Show podcast Facebook page, and I'll probably start live streaming over there. But I'm just letting all of you Liberty Eagle people know. You know, I can put my page. I can, yeah, sure. I'll tell you what I'll do. I can put my Facebook page. Hang on. I'll put my Facebook page in the Liberty Eagle page. Okay, for all, because some people, I don't know what it is. No, I'm not. I don't know. Neil, I looked on my block list and you're not there. So I don't know what that's about. Yeah, I went through my entire block list on Facebook and you're not there. I'm putting my Facebook page on the Liberty Eagle page. I'm going to post it right now. It's the Brian Craig Show podcast page. Would that work for you guys? Yeah. I don't know what's going on. I went through my entire block list, Neil. I'll post it right now in the chat. There you go. I just posted my Facebook page there, my group. So if you guys could go and like that page, I will be live streaming there soon. Okay, my Brian Craig Show podcast Facebook page. All right. I don't know what's going on with Periscope this I'm just having all kinds of problems. Does that work for you guys?
nutrient and environmental allergens, and vitamin deficiency test, drug testing, you name it. Any Lab Test Now or Plantation probably test for it. Any Lab Test Now or Plantation is located at 8367 West Sunrise Boulevard in the Jacaranda Plaza on the corner of University Drive and Sunrise Boulevard in Plantation. Give them a call, 954-916-1072.
I would like to.
Online, Lab Testing Plantation.
Done and done. All right, guys.
Take control of your
I would like
health.
to.
Any Lab Test Now of Plantation. 954
But I can't, Neil.
1072.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on
I'll add YouTube too, but I'll do it during the next break.
WWNN.
All righty now, just taking care of business during the break. My name is Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show. Yeah, what a pathetic debate last night. You know, and I love Elizabeth Warren. And, you know, they're going to have the second debate tonight. So last night's debate for the Democrats, luckily it'll be forgotten because tonight's where the bigger stars are. Was Mayor Pete a disappointment or what? It just seemed like a few weeks ago, Mayor Pete was the big guy, right? And he no longer is. I mean, what happened to Mayor Pete? They were all behind him, and you know, I'll tell you, Don Lemon was very rude to Mayor Pete last night. I thought he would have some bond because they're both gay, but no, he doesn't care for Mayor Pete. They are done with Mayor Pete. Why that is, I guess maybe they've seen that he's a loser of a candidate. I don't know. All right, let's take a call. Good morning.
Good morning. Mayor Pete wants to change the whole Constitution if you listen to him. I don't know if you were up and
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
That is totally outrageous. He wants to change the electoral college. This is a radical, okay? Marrying a man is a radical. That's number one, okay?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now I see why he did that and why he is the way he is. And I want to say something about Don Lemon. That was an outrageous question that guy, he shouldn't be a moderator, man. You talk about a question.
Which question? Which question?
President Trump's strategy, his essential strategy, I had it just taped. Essential strategy is to divide this country and basically calling the president a racist. What would you do differently to get this country, to bring people back together? President Trump is not a damn racist. Everything on it. I wish I would have counted how many times racist came up last night.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is enough already. These people have nothing, absolutely nothing but personal attacks on the President of the United States. They can't beat them on policy. I don't know what kind of universe they're living in. They're talking about there's two economic, in other words, there's two countries in the United States. There's the one where people are left behind. That's an old tired line of garbage.
Yeah.
We're not left behind in this economy. As a matter of fact, blue-collar workers are getting raises. You know who's left behind? People in Baltimore when they got Democrats running the place. That's who's left behind.
Well, you know, I love when I hear these Democrats that were on that stage last night, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, and others who said that they are going to raise taxes on billionaires and corporations. Notice how they skipped over millionaires because they're millionaires, right? They kept saying billionaires. To them, millionaires are the new middle class.
Yeah, Elizabeth Warren was asked that question about, are you going to raise taxes with middle-income people? She ran around it and said, and in the long run, we'll all be ahead. In other words, what they're going to do, they're going to tax the crap out of people because if you get the pie in the sky that they want,
Yeah.
tired of this already. Listen, I'm not a scientist, but I'm not a scientist that's been paid government grants for years to.
Yeah. No doubt about it.
The policies are so outrageous. You got to think about this. I mean, they want to actually put the gas engine completely out by 2000. I believe it was 40 or 20.
Yeah. They don't know. They don't know what they're talking about. That's the problem. They don't know what they're talking about. You know, Rich, you've been around for a while. There was nothing new in that debate last night. It was all things from 30 years ago.
Tired, man. It's really.
And you know, Buttigieg, who kept telling us, "Well, I was a junior in high school during Columbine," and I'm Thursday. You know, every time he mentions how young he is, that's just another reason not to vote for the guy. He's a kid.
Gun control. Okay. Every time there's a shooting, what? In other words, they're going to stop. They are so tired. I can't even stand it. My wife says, "What are you watching this?" My blood pressure must have gone up 1,000,000 points last night. I'm watching this. I'm saying, is this all they have? Is this this is the new Democratic Party? The only one on there was the bald-headed guy who actually sounded like a Republican, and they attacked him. So what the heck? And the crazy woman at the other end. I mean, she's out of it, man. Is she?
Marianne Williamson. Yeah, she's an author. She's an author. She's on the Oprah book list. All right, Richie, appreciate the call. You know, after about an hour break, I'll start to get into the details of the debate. But you know, I was watching Axelrod. I was watching Chris Matthews. You watch the mainstream liberal media analysis, not Fox News. Not that they love Trump either. But you go over to MSNBC, you go over to CNN, and the analysis of these Democrats is pretty poor. I mean, they're out there telling you that they are too far to the left for the American people. Even Axelrod, I'll play the clip later, we'll talk in more detail. Even David Axelrod said the majority of the American people don't want socialized health care. See, this is the thing. You know, I know when it comes, I don't even like talking about the specifics of the issues because these are old issues that have been talked about endlessly for decades. And I'm tired of talking about them, health care, Second Amendment, etc. Bernie points to Canada. They have great health care in Canada. You don't get they point to England. The United States is the number one in everything in the world, right? We're the number one economy. We're the most powerful country. We're the only superpower, all these things. You know, they keep pointing to these third-rate countries like Canada. I want you to ask yourself this question, because I always hear Bernie point to Canada as a shining example of what America could be. Canada, if Canada ceased to exist today, this is a very serious question. I know we have Canadians out there. If Canada disappeared from the earth today, what would change? What significant change would there be? You know, if Canada had never existed, how would the world be different? You can't point to a country that has zero contributions to the world, Canada, as a way to model the United States. England is different because they gave us our culture and our language and everything. But Canada has zero contributions to the world. Canada's greatest contribution to the world, I would have to say, would be William Shatner, because he's Captain Kirk. But other than that, and I know that's what does Canada provide? I'm serious about this, that we would miss as a culture, as a nation. It's nothing. So Canada's we. I'm sorry to our Canadians out there. Justin Bieber. Oh, yeah, please. Justin Bieber, to make it, had to come to America. He didn't make it in Canada. He made it in America. You know, I love how they point to Canada. And there's also some other differences. You know, when you talk about, you keep pointing to Canada. Canada is a big country land-wise, but most of Canada is the Arctic, and you can't live in it, right? 80% of the Canadian population live within 150 miles of the U.S. border. Think about that. 80% of the Canadian population live within 150 miles of the American border. What does that tell you? Even they want to be here as close as they can, the Canadians. And they only have 10% of our population, okay? Providing health care to a country of 30 million is a lot easier than providing free health care to a country of 300 million. And on top of that, you know, Canada's a socialist country. It's not a free country like America because they have a similar accent. It's very different. If you're not American, you probably couldn't pick up on it. But I can tell a Canadian like that, unless they've worked hard to lose their accent, like William Shatner and some other Canadians that have made it in America. Justin Bieber doesn't have a Canadian accent, but because he can't really, and make it in America. But here's the thing about Canada. It's a socialist country, Canada. It's not a free country. They do not enjoy free speech. This is a very free country, okay? Liberty and all of that. And Americans don't want to have government control over any aspect of their life. And the main reason that Americans, I believe, oppose this Medicare for All socialist healthcare system is because we're a free country and we don't want to have the government controlling us. The government will decide who gets medical care, who doesn't, who lives, who dies. That's not the American way. I know at work, I know in England, in the UK, they love it. I know in Canada, they seem to enjoy it, but that's not what the American system is about. The American system is about being independent, being on your own, being free, enjoying liberty, having the government out of your life. And all you heard last night from Democrats were more ways to have the government involved in your life. Now, in the last debate, remember they asked everyone to raise their hands who supports free health care for the undocumented immigrants. I would like to have seen a show of hands last night. Raise your hands if you support ridding Baltimore of its rodent rat problem. And that would have been a big conflict for them. That some of the hands would have started to go up and then come down. Some would never have gone up. That would have been a great moment. CNN was not interested in getting to anything with these very generic, vanilla questions in the debate last night. All right, 6:32 in the morning. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show. We'll take our break for the bottom of the hour and be right back. Hey guys, I got to reboot my iPad, okay? I'll be back. Now, everyone on Liberty Eagle, I've posted in Liberty Eagle my Facebook group page and my YouTube page. So, and I'll put it in the chat again. Subscribe, okay? Because Liberty Eagle is going by. Bye-bye. There's my YouTube channel.
Left unattended are only going to get worse. This is not something you can do on your own. You need expert professional help. And if
I'm sorry, guys. I know.
in front of your eyes and you feel helpless,
I know a lot of you don't like it, but there's nothing I can do about it.
Call my good friend Sal at the Edge Recovery, 561 area code 523-4325.
It is not my choice.
This is his personal cell phone.
Does anyone know what's happened?
523-4325.
You asked to join? Okay. Yeah, I got to approve people who join.
The Edge Recovery will conduct
I'll approve you, everybody.
and get them into the treatment plan that they need. The Edge Recovery offers every option, from intervention to 30-day rehab to sober living to counseling with a licensed therapist, as well as group therapy treatment. It's covered by most insurance, but no matter what your situation is, the Edge Recovery has options for you.
I've got Facebook and YouTube, so I would rather you go to
561 area code
YouTube, but I will approve everybody right now that's already asked. And because I'm going to start live streaming there. Yeah, I put it on the Liberty Eagle page.
Do you have gaps between your teeth? Are your teeth stained, crooked, cracked, or poorly shaped? You can have the smile you have always dreamed of with veneers. Brighton Dental Care has an incredible offer exclusively for Steve Kane Show listeners. The same veneers that the dentist in Boca and Aventura charge $10,000 to $12,000 for Steve Kane listeners at Brighton Dental.
The Brian Craig Show, yeah.
Just $47.50. These are the exact same veneers.
And I'll continue to post that.
$12,000 for.
And I will
By your broken,
approve everybody.
or missing teeth anymore. Call Brighton Dental Care right now at 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633.
I put it on the page.
Brighton Dental Care have great discounts for veterans too. 954-922-4633. Online, BrightonDentalCare.com.
This is Steve Kane inviting you to come see the all-new Toyota of Hollywood. You know, for the past 4 years in a row, Toyota of Hollywood has been #1 in volume for Toyota sales in the southeast region of the United United States. There are lots of places you can shop for a new car.
Yeah, it's on the Liberty Eagle
There's only
page.
One Toyota of Hollywood where you will be treated like royalty. The service you receive at Toyota of Hollywood is second to none. No high-pressure sales, no hassle, no haggling, just the best deal on the
And I'll
brand new
continue to
Toyota
post that
of
for
your
as long
choice.
as I
Toyota
can.
of Hollywood, there is a full line of new and pre-owned Toyotas, sure to meet the needs of you and your family.
Oh, I didn't know you were blocked. Sometimes I block people by accident.
Not only for the kids, but for the grandkids as well. It's roomy, it's comfortable, it drives like
I know you got to be approved. I will approve everyone.
Toyota, the Camry.
I will approve everyone.
The years and
I just approve like 20 or 30 people.
That's right. You take care of your Toyota.
Great.
It will take care of you. Then, of course, as a starter car for the kids in college.
Yeah, we Trump people got to stick together, man.
Ultimate in driving efficiency, priced perfectly for that first car. When you shop at Toyota of Hollywood, make sure you ask for Steve Ostrov. That's right, he's the GM. He's a big Steve Kane fan, and he is going to give you the deal of a lifetime. The new Toyota of Hollywood, 400,000 square.
Oh, no, no
feet.
paid. I just would like everybody to subscribe.
You have ever seen.
I do have a Patreon if you'd like to support my Patreon. Patreon.com/Real Brian Craig Show or Super Chat on YouTube. I'm not going to shy away.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Avoid probate with a revocable living trust. $350 for single people.
Hey, Neil.
$50 for married couples. When you complete your trust with Attorney Barry Siegel, he
I'm
will give
approving.
you a
I'm approving.
$100 gift certificate to Tavolino Italian Restaurant in Coral Springs. The Siegel Law Group, with 9 offices in South Florida, including Boca Raton, Plantation,
I'll get to the white
and
forgiveness in the
Coral
next
Springs.
hour.
Call 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for
Alrighty now, welcome back. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. Yeah, there were no new ideas. No new ideas in that debate last night. You know, tonight will be the hot one. You know, I'll tell you another thing about that debate. Did you notice they didn't have a candidate of color? There wasn't a Democrat candidate of color. It was looking mighty white last night. You know, tonight they I guess they are they racially segregated, the Democrat debates, because they have all the black people tonight. Tonight will be a little more heated because the players are tonight. Okay, you've got Kamala Harris, who's going to try to have another victory. You've got Joe Biden, Booker T. Washington, Spartacus Booker, you know, is there, Cory Booker, you know, and all of the rest. So the big ones are tonight, and tonight will be a bigger one and probably more interesting. Last night, when they went through these people, I did not even know who some of them were, and they did begin. I caught the very beginning of the debate last night, and they started with our national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner. I believe Bruce, Greenwood song should be, or Lee Greenwood song should be the national anthem. Bruce Greenwood, no, he's the actor. Lee Greenwood song. I'm proud to be an American. I think that should be our national anthem, but it's the Star-Spangled Banner. And I was shocked that the Democrats began the debate with the Star-Spangled Banner, because the Democrats have been telling us for a year all of a sudden that that's a racist song. It's a racist song. And that's what they tell us. And they tell us because, you know, the Star-Spangled Banner was not originally a song. They probably don't even teach this in school anymore. It was a poem by Francis Scott Key. And the song is not made up of the complete poem, apparently. This is something I never learned. There's some verse or stanza that's not part of the song that they claim is racist, which means that the entire song is racist. But they began with the Star-Spangled Banner last night, which really surprised me. And the Democrat, what's his name? Tim something? The one from Ohio, the congressman from Ohio, Tim Ryan, yeah. Tim Ryan. Don't trust anyone with 2 first names, unless their name is Brian Craig. But Tim Ryan, the Democrat congressman from Ohio, did not even put his hand on his heart during the Star-Spangled Banner. And there's a lot being made of this today. Oh, why was he doing this? Was it protest? Why is he showing this disrespect? I don't think Tim Ryan knows that you're supposed to put your hand on your heart during the anthem. If you're in the service, you salute. If you're wearing a hat, you take your hat off and put that over your heart. And if you're just there, you put your hand up. I don't think he knows. which is why he didn't put his hand on his heart. You know, Mayor Pete, not only did he put his hand on his heart, he put it underneath his jacket lapel, which was kind of weird. Well, he was in the military, so I guess he learned some etiquette. But Tim Ryan just doesn't know that you're supposed to put your hand on your heart during the Star-Spangled Banner. He just doesn't know that, which tells you a lot, doesn't it? It does. And why does he not know it? I don't know. But he doesn't, yeah. But this isn't new. Barack Obama started this. If you remember, during the 2008 presidential campaign, Barack Obama was not wearing the American flag lapel pin, which you're supposed to wear if you're running for office. It was pointed out to him, and it became a discussion back in 2008, that he wasn't wearing one, and still he would not wear it. And a veteran caught him at a campaign event and handed him on television a United States flag lapel pin. And then Obama wore the lapel pin of the American flag on alternate days. Like, okay, today is, what's today? Today, Wednesday. He'll wear it today, but he wouldn't wear it on Thursday. Then he'll wear it on Friday because he didn't want to show that he was partial towards the United States, that he was a global leader. Well, you're running for president of the United States. And if you're running for president of the United States, you should know to put your hand on your heart. You know, I was at Arlington National Cemetery with my daughter once, and we were there for the ceremony at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. And I could not believe how many young men, because it was hot summer day, people wearing hats, a lot of young men were wearing hats. They didn't take their hats off during the ceremony. And some people were getting upset with them. And somebody I was with was getting upset. And I said, they just don't know. They don't teach kids in school how to really anything about citizenship skills that we used to learn. They don't learn etiquette during the anthem, the Pledge of Allegiance. They just don't learn respect of country any longer in school. So last night, Tim Ryan didn't have his hand. He had his hand down to his side during the anthem, not out of protest. He just doesn't know basic citizenship things that all of us learned when we were literally in kindergarten in the United States. That's one of the first things you learn is your hand on your heart during the pledge and the anthem. You know, I remember doing all that stuff, and we loved it. But not anymore. That's nationalistic. That's nationalism. That's ethnocentric. You know, if people put their hands on their heart during the Pledge of Allegiance or the national anthem, even if you're running for president of the United States, you're showing bias towards the United States. Yeah, I used to have a pencil box. I don't think kids have pencil boxes anymore, but I had a pencil box, and on the inside it would have the Star-Spangled Banner and the Pledge of Allegiance printed on the inside. It came that way. They don't do any of that any longer. They're too busy teaching about how many genders there are and not what non-binaries are, you know, and they just don't teach these basic there was basically citizenship skills because we were learning how to be good citizens, but that's bad now. You know, and you watched this Democrat debate last night. Not only was it void of any new ideas, who and what were they advocating for? You know, Republicans are not opposed to government programs to help people, okay? There are people that have physical disabilities. There are people that have severe health conditions and are disabled. There are people that are just sickly. There are people that are old. There are children in need. Republicans are not against helping any American who has these types of problems, okay? And what we're against are, one, the foreign nationals coming here and getting these things, and also people setting up a whole lifestyle based around having freebies. And there is a huge segment of the American population, I don't know what percentage, I don't think we want to know how many people are like this, but there are people who were raised in government-subsidized households who grow up and have children at a young age and start the cycle again. A lot of them have kids at 15, 16 years old, and they live their entire life in Section 8 housing on food stamps and everything. And they're not bad people. They just don't know any better. You know what I'm talking about? Like, for example, we were talking about a lot about Baltimore. This this trashy area in Baltimore. You know, we're talking a lot about it, but why is Baltimore so bad? I'm going to take our last break of the first hour, and I'll tell you why. My name's Brian. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Right now, the U.S. is in the midst of a deadly opioid epidemic. In South Florida alone, someone suffers an overdose every 2 hours, either from heroin, fentanyl, or some other prescription medication that's as close as the family medicine cabinet. In fact, Mom and Dad's medicine cabinet...
Yeah, I was telling everybody in Liberty Eagle. Liberty Eagle is going bye-bye. Everyone has left Liberty Eagle but me. So I put my YouTube channel and I put my Facebook group on the Liberty Eagle page. I'll put it again here in the chat room. And subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Facebook. I don't know why it's going by. I don't know, but it is.
4325. This is his personal cell phone. 561-523-4325.
And I will approve everyone because I'm getting a lot of requests.
The Edge Recovery will conduct an intervention and get them into.
And I'm going to have to start live streaming on my Facebook group. I don't know why. If anybody knows why, what happened, let me know. But everyone's left. No, it's not that. Everyone just left but me. And it's going to disappear anytime without notice. I have no control over it.
As options for you. Call Sal at the Edge Recovery. Do it today. 561 area code 523-4325. Again, that's Sal's personal cell phone. 561-523-4325.
Attention all Barry's Vitamins customers. All the vitamins and supplements you know and love are available at Save-A-Lot Nutrition Centers, and the prices are a fraction of what you were paying before. Stop in or call Save-A-Lot. Save-A-Lot Nutrition Centers is located a half-mile south of...
Yeah, I don't know why. If anybody knows, let me know.
Speak with Al. He's the owner. Tell him what supplements...
There's the Facebook page. I put it in the main
to get you the
page.
Supplements you need. Save-A-Lot Nutrition Centers, 754-307-1655. 754-307-1655.
Who knows?
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow, and like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat, I would flip-flop all night long, I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented MyPillow, I wanted it to where you could move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position. MyPillow will get you into that deep sleep faster, and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed, it's about how much of that quality sleep we get. I do all of my own manufacturing right here in the United States. I have a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry my pillow, and I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. And here's my best offer ever.
For a limited time, go to MyPillow.com, and Mike will give you 2 MyPillow Premium Pillows for one low price. And you will also receive free shipping when you use the promo
Okay, there's
code
my YouTube link.
KANE.
Yeah, I got them both there.
1-800-716-4879, and give them promo code KANE, KANE, and receive 2 MyPillow Premium Pillows for one low price. Again, use the promo code KANE, KANE, at MyPillow.com or 1-800-716-4879 for this fantastic offer.
Are you paying too much for auto insurance? Call Debbie at Iowa Advisors, 954-753-8080. And she
Yeah, I know. I don't know, guys. I don't know why.
No charge. 954-753-8080.
I would appreciate it. I would like everybody to go to YouTube, but you can go subscribe to both YouTube, Facebook. I'll put all the links there.
Call Debbie right now, 954-753-8080, and stop paying too much for auto insurance. 954-753-8080.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for...
Alrighty, we're back. Yeah, so I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show. Day after the Democrat debate. First debate, part 1. So, we talk about Baltimore. Baltimore, this rat trash, crime-infested area, is the way it is because of Democrats. And I don't blame the people in that rat-infested neighborhood. The reason that area of Baltimore is covered in garbage, infested by rats, and high crime is because of everything that these Democrats talked about last night in the debate. you have residents there who don't know any other. I don't blame them. I'm not angry at them, and I'm not calling them names. But this is just a reality. The people in that neighborhood, okay, are multi-generational, for the most part, government welfare recipients of some sort. Food stamps, Section 8 housing, Medicaid, WIC, everything. And it's the failure of every liberal war on poverty idea going on in this area of Baltimore. And because of it, these people are helpless. They don't even know, in this poor area in Baltimore, how to take care of themselves. You know, in Florida, here in South Florida, we have hurricanes every once in a while. We had a pretty bad one a couple years ago. I talked about this. I had two 50-foot trees in my backyard. They're gone, you know, and there's debris everywhere. And it's a mess. And it's tough. You can't drive down the street. There's stuff everywhere. What do? The day of the hurricane, after the hurricane was cleared, I was calling people up to come over to the house and help me get the trees out of my yard. One of my trees fell on the lady's pool enclosure next door to me. I made sure the tree was off her pool enclosure before it was off my property. The community comes together and we help one another. You know, so a guy on the street will have a chainsaw. He'll use the chainsaw and you'll go and he'll get the trees and debris out of his yard, and then he'll come over to everyone else's house. And we clean up our neighborhoods ourselves. The government, after a hurricane in South Florida, the government doesn't come down our streets and clean up our yards, front backyards, and remove the debris. You do that. Now we pile it up on the swale in front of our homes, and then the garbage men come, that are not government, by the way, private garbage companies come, Southern Sanitation, people like this, okay, Waste Management, they come, private companies, okay. You know, we clean up our own neighborhoods. These people in Baltimore, because they have lived with every Democrat promise that was mentioned last night and more, they don't even know how to clean up the trash in their own neighborhood and the rats. For example, in Florida, you know, people have citrus trees. People have citrus trees. And what we have in South Florida, we have a lot of, anybody that lives in South Florida will know what I'm talking about. Our South Florida lives. We have citrus trees and a lot of water in our communities, lakes, canals, and things like this. That attracts rodents. Citrus and water attract rats. But we don't have rats running around our neighborhoods. Why? You know why? Because we take care of it. How do you take care of them? Cats. I got a lot of cats. Good luck for the rats and rodents. Good luck. I got cats. You see no rodents around where I live. It doesn't even occur to, you know, that's how you solve, there's the rat problem in this neighborhood in Baltimore. You get cats. They'll be gone. And you won't even know it. But they have lived under all of these Democrat promises a few generations in now, because they have children so young that they don't even, and they're not bad people. They are good people. They just don't know another way. You know, my neighborhood would never look like that. Most of your neighborhoods would never look like that, because we would clean it up and take care of it ourselves. They don't even know how. And that's what Democrats do. With all these promises, they take people's ability to take care of themselves away from them. You know, first time I really saw this in a terrible way in this country was New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina. Why were there so many black people in trouble in New Orleans after the hurricane and not white people? Why do you think that was? The people on the highway, the people at the Superdome, why was that? Well, it's because the white people got out of town and left and evacuated. The poor community, which was mostly black in New Orleans, a hurricane's coming. You know, when a hurricane's come, I have hurricane shutters at my house. Okay? I have a generator in case I lose electricity. And when a hurricane's coming, you've got some notice. I go out there, I get water, I get food, I load up as much gasoline as I can for my generator, I fill up all the cars. Members of the family come and stay at my house, so we kind of do a little family community together so we can all pitch in and take care of one another. The poor people in New Orleans in the projects, who were the ones that went to the Superdome and you saw on the highway, they were in the government projects. And they have lived their entire life in government projects. They did, their mother, their grandmothers did, and maybe even a little further back, since the Great Society era, with Johnson. And because of that, when a Category 5 hurricane was coming to their city, they don't take care of themselves. They wait for the government to come and help them, because it's the government's job to take care of you. So they're in a city below sea level, a Category 5 hurricane is coming, and they're sitting around waiting for the government to take care of them. Do you think the government comes to my house with water, with food, with gasoline, with a generator, with hurricane shutters? No. No. And it's not that these people are bad people or lazy people. They just don't know another way because of all of the things that the Democrats last night were promising in that debate on CNN. That's what Democrats do. Don't you see? They take away people's ability to care for themselves and survive. Right? And that's one of the major reasons that conservatives in this country are opposed to socialized health care and a lot of these other things, because we want to be self-sufficient. Okay? We want to be self-sufficient. And these people in Baltimore, the people in New Orleans, again, they are not, the government officials are bad people, but the people in this rat-infested neighborhood, the people in the super, they're not bad people. They just don't know another way. They've never learned how to take care of themselves in any way, shape, or form, because that's the government's job. And that's how they were raised. So I don't blame them. I don't get angry at them. And the Democrats want to make more of the country like that, so that we're dependent on what? Them. We're dependent on them for everything. The government. All right, our number 1-888-GO-CANE-1. 888-GO-CANE-1. That's Kane with a K, K-A-N-E. And the number 1. 888-465-2631. Good morning. Good morning.
This is Mike.
Hey, Mike. Yeah, you're on, Mike. Go.
Okay, yeah. I watched a little bit of that thing last night, that debate last night. It is painfully obvious that there's nobody on that stage, at least, that on last night's stage, that can beat President Trump. They have nobody.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. You look at those people, and there's nobody. Now, as far as what you're saying with how to get rid of, you're right. You're right. You need cats to get rid of rats. That's just a given. And you go to places like Italy, and you look at what's going on with the college.
Yeah.
And there's nothing but cats that live there.
That's right. They've got a rodent problem in Manhattan. There should be a cat in every restaurant. If you had a cat in every restaurant in Manhattan, there would be no rodent problem in Manhattan. That's how you fix it.
Well, there's a different type of rodent in Manhattan, but that's...
Yeah. The de Blasio breed of rat. Yeah.
But that's the thing. That's what they don't... That's what... Again, liberals have a problem with logic. And logically, to get rid of cats, to get rid of rats, you got to have cats. That's logic, right?
Yeah, I'm telling you, yeah. And these, by the way, appreciate the call, Mike. These Democrats last night, now most of them know a lot more than I do about everything. Why? Because I work for a living, and these guys, they're multimillionaires, most of them. Speaking of which, let me remind you something after the break about Elizabeth Warren last night, who's told a story that was supposed to make her look good, and I thought it made her look like a cruel creep. Is creep masculine or feminine? Can a woman be a creep Is there a feminine version of creep for a woman? Because when I think of creep, I always think of creepy guys, not creepy women. I don't know. Is there a word that's the feminine version of creep that I don't know? I don't know. All right, we'll take our break. Hour number 2 begins now.
1470 is WWNN.
Yeah, so I'll be telling everybody, Liberty Eagle is going bye-bye. I don't know why. Everyone has left Liberty Eagle but me. So I'm using this time, which it could be today, tomorrow, next year. I don't know how long until I won't be able to access it. But I'm using this opportunity to tell everyone I'm putting my Facebook group in there, and you can and my YouTube channel. So subscribe to me on YouTube, like my Facebook page. I put it in the Liberty Eagle page. I'll put it in the chat again. And
Full cholesterol lipid panel.
so we don't lose all of you.
Complete thyroid panel, $49. Diabetic A1C test, only $27. No doctor's order or prescription needed. All testing is always anonymous and confidential. In and out in 15 minutes or less. Most results in 24 to 48 hours. Make sure to ask about their allergy testing, which includes micronutrient and environmental allergens, and vitamin deficiency test, drug testing, you name it. Any lab test now or plantation probably test for it.
I have no idea why.
Plantation is located at 8367 West Sunrise Boulevard in the Jacaranda Plaza on the corner of University Drive and Sunrise Boulevard in Plantation. Give them a call, 954-916-1072, 954-916-1072. Online, labtestingplantation.com. Take control of your health with any lab test now of Plantation, 954-916-1072.
Denture wearers, are messy adhesives ruining the taste of your food? Is it painful for you to eat? Does the constant denture movement affect your speech? Are you always worried that your denture?
Yeah, I don't know why. I have no idea why.
Talking or laughing? Do you have sore spots? You are not alone. These are common problems that can be solved simply with dental implants. This is Steve Kane, and I want to introduce you to Brighton Dental Care, where the Kane family goes for all our dental needs. Brighton Dental Care doesn't want cost to stop you from being able to eat the foods you love again and live in comfort. That's why, for Steve Kane listeners, they're offering implants. Get this, for just $3,500. That includes 2 implants plus a lower denture. Now, if you go to a dentist in Boca or in Aventura, they're going to charge you $6,000 for the exact same implants and denture. That's right, $6,000. But at Brighton Dental Care, just $3,500, and that includes the 2 implants plus your lower denture. Laugh and live with confidence. Call Brighton Dental Care at 954-922-4633.
I just wrote you, Carl, on Facebook.
922-4633 and online at brightondentalcare.com. Be sure to ask about special discounts for our military veterans.
Are you paying too much for auto insurance? Call Debbie at Iowa Advisors, 954-753-8080, and she will review your auto insurance policy at no charge. 954-753-8080. No matter what your situation is, tickets, no tickets, accidents, no accidents on your record, you may be paying too much. Call Debbie right now, 954-753-8080, and stop paying too much for auto insurance. 954-753-8080. The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Avoid probate with a revocable living trust. $350 for single people.
Yeah, I don't always. I watch a lot of stuff I don't
When you complete your trust with attorney Barry Siegel, he
Talk.
will give you a $100 gift certificate to Tavolino Italian Restaurant in Coral Springs. The Siegel Law Group, with 9 offices in South Florida, including Boca Raton, Plantation, and Coral Springs.
I'll take your calls.
855-FLA-3782. The opinions expressed in the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of the station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
The Steve Kane Show is live in Morning Drive, 6 till 9 a.m. weekdays, and overnights, midnight till 6 a.m., 7 nights a week. To call the show toll free.
All right, welcome. You are listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Welcome, one and all. Again, my name is Brian Craig. Oh, boy. Steve will be in tomorrow. Steve's off today. He'll be in tomorrow. And I can tell, I've only taken a couple calls, but both were a little sleepy. Richie, the bus driver, I can tell you're up late watching what I consider to be one of the most boring debates I've ever seen. I mean, just boring. And Mayor Pete, what was that birthmark on his forehead? Do they usually cover that birthmark up with makeup? Because I noticed Mayor Pete had this birthmark on the right side of his forehead, which I've never noticed before, and I'm just wondering if they forgot to put the makeup on that last night. So listen, Elizabeth Warren, I guess Elizabeth Warren, I wouldn't say that, there was no winner of last night's debate, bunch of losers, but she was the one I took notice of the most while she was talking. By the way, does Elizabeth Warren dress like a lesbian? Why is that? She's not gay. I don't know why she dresses that way. Elizabeth Warren told the story of a guy, I believe his name was Addie, which I thought was a girl's name. Did you hear this story? She has this, a friend of hers named Addie who has some disease, and he has a daughter and a wife, and his wife, this is her friend, his wife spends every night on the phone for hours begging friends to give them money to cover their expenses because he can't get the proper health care he needs. And that's a sad story if it's true, but this is what I was thinking. This is your friend? She said this was her friend, and she went to great lengths to tell the story because Jake Tapper interrupted her and before she finished the story, you know, and then she went back to it later to finish the story. And I'm thinking, this is your friend, Elizabeth Warren? Elizabeth Warren, you're a multi-millionaire. Why are you letting your sick friend Addie's wife spend hours on the phone begging for money when you're worth millions upon millions of dollars and you could help them out? It never even occurred to Tapper or Lemonade to do any follow-up with that, but that's what went through my mind. I thought that was a little cruel. And, you know, Mayor Pete's back to this electoral college, doing away with the electoral college. I was talking a week or two ago. I was reading Jefferson Davis's book, The History of the Confederate States of America. Jefferson Davis was, of course, the Democrat president of the Democrat Confederate States of America. And the first half of the book is Democrat Jefferson Davis defending leaving the Union. And his number one grievance in the book was not slavery. It was the number one issue with Democrats leading up to the 1860 election and right after is they wanted to do away with the Electoral College. I mean, the election of 1860. So here you got Mayor Pete last night, Democrat, who's advocating with other Democrats, but he was talking about this in the debate last night, about doing away with the Electoral College. And I'm reading this book by Jefferson Davis. He wrote this book right before he died in the 1890s about how the unfairness of the Electoral College, which allowed Republican Abraham Lincoln to win election without the popular vote. Democrats have always been trying to do away with the Electoral College. You know, and I thought that was kind of interesting that it's all this time. And with Democrats like, you know, Mayor Pete, there's something that age comes with wisdom. And this is something you don't realize when you're young. Does Mayor Pete have any kids with his husband? I don't think he has kids. Does he have kids? You really don't become an adult until you have children to care for. I know a lot of you don't have kids. But when you have kids, for the very first time, your life changes. And what happens with a child from the moment they're born for the rest of your life, because kids are always your kids, the needs of your child always come ahead of the needs of you, right? No matter what it is, food, shoes, clothes, gas in the car, whatever it is, the needs of your child. And until you have children, you're really not a mature adult. And I know a lot of you don't have kids. If you're offended, God forbid we offend people in talk radio. We don't want to offend anybody. Right. Until you have to care and until you have to put the needs of someone other than yourself first and foremost in your life, you really don't understand what being a mature adult is. Really. And Mayor Pete is just a child. And I know he's got a deep voice and all this stuff, but when he talks, he sounds like a child. And as I said, with age comes wisdom. You don't understand this when you're young. You know, experience, life experience. You understand. You've been through cycles of things. You know how things work, what doesn't work, et cetera, et cetera. What Mayor Pete and the Democrats advocating to end the Electoral College do not understand is one very simple thing. There are millions of people in this country who do not vote because of the Electoral College. New York State and California in particular. California, someone said he's 37, he's not a kid. Are you kidding me? You're a child until you're 40 or 45 with kids. I'm sorry. How many people in California, by the millions, right, don't vote because they figure, what's the point? The Electoral College. They don't even vote. And we're not going to do away with the Electoral College. But if we did, you would find conservatives winning over and over and over again. We talk about California and New York, but there are other Democrat states. You know, Pennsylvania went for Trump for the first time. It went Republican in a long time. And Pennsylvania would go Republican every time if it were not for the Electoral College. Because a lot of people will be, oh, well, we're a Democrat state. I'm not going to bother. Yeah. So they don't, the Democrats really don't understand that the majority of the country agree with conservatives on almost everything. That doesn't mean that they like all of Trump's tweets and et cetera. You know, I will never criticize Trump. But they just don't understand. They think they feel the pulse of the American people. They're talking about these seats they gained in Congress. Yeah, they gained some seats in the House of Representatives, tiny little districts here and there. A lot of it was done in California through election rigging. But we won 2 whole states. We gained seats in the Senate. That's a whole statewide election, not just a small congressional district. Someone like Tlaib and AOC won just by a handful of votes. Okay? Dozens of votes. It's crazy. You know, they think the Democrats believe that they represent the majority of the people and they don't. And what makes when I see these Democrats talk like they talked last night, it shows you how dangerous the left are. They want to take away our borders, take away our Second Amendment, right? Revamp our elections. All Democrats talk about are ways to take away our freedoms. The number one reason to have the right to own and bear arms in this country, there's 2 reasons. One, it's the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution. That's number 1. And number 2, it's really what keeps the Democrats in check, that we have an armed population. I mean, what do you think when you hear Democrats talking about taking away our freedom, as every one of them, there wasn't one thing last night that didn't take away our freedom. That's all they talked about last night. We're taking away the freedoms of Americans, multiple freedoms. Some less freedoms than others, but they all were talking about taking away our rights. And the reason that we have remained a free country for over 200 years, 243 years, is because of the Second Amendment. If we were an unarmed population and these Democrats took over, could you imagine? Oh, man. Oh, man. Yeah, I know. It's insanity. It's insanity what they're talking about. But, you know, the reason that they are bringing in these Democrat voters from the south of the border is many. There are many, many reasons. One of them, it's not just votes. You know, there's a lot of reasons. A lot of reasons. And one of the reasons, you know, I give an example with this census. Why do you think they didn't want the nationality on the census? Why did they not want the nationality on the census? Are you a U.S. citizen? They don't want on the census. Why do you think that is? I know, I'll tell you why. Because many, you know, they talk about these 40 seats they won in the House of Representatives. What they're afraid of is this. If we were to get an accurate census that showed us exactly how many foreigners were in this country illegally and non-U.S. citizens legally in this country, the number would be much higher than any of the estimates. Okay? It's like when they talk about gun control and they talk about the number of guns. The number of guns in this country could very well be 1 billion. I wouldn't be surprised, right? There's 300 million people in this country. There are more guns. There are so many guns, even those of us that own guns would be shocked, surprised, and freaked out by the high number of guns, because guns last forever, for the most part. I mean, I've got 2 guns that are next year going to be 100 years old that belonged to my grandfather. He got them when they were brand new in 1920. Okay? And they look like the day they were bought. Okay? You know, if we knew how many people were in this country illegally, or foreign nationals were in this country, and we had an accurate census of this, what would happen is this. Donald Trump and others would start saying, well, wait a minute. 1/3 of the Californian population are illegal aliens. Why are these illegal aliens getting a voice in the House of Representatives? Do you understand what I mean by this? The allocation of congressional districts, House districts, is done by the populations of the state. Every 10 years after our census, some states gain members in the House and some lose. The House of Representatives has 435 members. That's it. They can have no more. Not 436, 435. Okay? And so every 10 years, when the census is done, some states gain and some states lose representation in the House of Representatives. And if we had a couple of census done that showed us that there are 50 members in the House of Representatives solely because we are counting foreign nationals in congressional districts, there would begin a movement to say, well, wait a minute, why are these illegal aliens responsible for 50 members of the House of Representatives? The number could be higher, it could be lower. That's just a number I just made up, but that's what would happen. That's what they're afraid of. The Democrats have representation in Congress that they shouldn't have. Same goes for the Electoral College. The Electoral College is allocated in a similar way. Okay, California has so many Electoral College votes because the illegals are counted in the population. You know, that's one of the reasons we don't make Puerto Rico the 51st state, is because they would get members of the House of Representatives. And if they got 3, 4, 5 members in the, I don't know how many members they would get, but if for every member of the House of Representatives Puerto Rico got, other states would lose them. Okay? And of course they'd be Democrats forever, corrupt Democrats. Look at Puerto Rico. So that's the reason they didn't want legal status on the census, because we would start looking at our House of Representatives and say, wait a minute. There are 75 members of the House of Representatives that are only there because these districts have been created based on illegal aliens in this state and that state. We don't know. It shouldn't be that way. And it would become a very popular position not to count illegals in the allocation of congressional districts. That's the real, there's other reasons too, but that's the number one reason with the Democrats in Washington. No one talks about this, but that's the reason why. But Mayor Pete wants to have a constitutional convention. I know a lot of people like Mark Levin. Mark Levin's all right, okay? He was a never-Trumper. He's come around. Trump likes him. You know, I'll give him a pass. But Mark Levin's always talking about having a constitutional convention of the states. That's the worst idea I've ever heard. Pretty well, maybe not the worst, but it's pretty close to it. That's the Democrat fantasy. The liberals would love Mark Levin's idea of having another constitutional convention. You know how that would go. First and foremost, health care is the First Amendment. It would be. The health care would be the First Amendment. You have a right. Free speech, gone. Second Amendment, gone. So no, we don't want any constitutional conventions. And what Pete was talking about last night, he talked about how prohibition was a constitutional amendment and then we removed it. Yeah, that's right. He's talking about removing constitutional amendments that are there. That's what Mayor Pete's talking about last night, taking away our liberty, taking away our freedom. All right, let's take our break. 20 minutes after 7. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to The Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back. Yeah, I know. You're going to hear me talk about this a lot. Liberty Eagle is about to go bye-bye. I don't know why. I am the last person on the Liberty Eagle Facebook group. So I'm asking everybody to either subscribe to my YouTube channel, Brian Craig on YouTube, or like my Facebook page. And I have it on the Liberty. I have links to both on the Liberty Eagle Facebook page, but I'm putting it also in the chat room.
Corolla LE, not 22,000, 13,775. Over 1,500 Toyotas indoors and on sale during our showroom.
No, I don't know if that's it. There's something else going on. I don't know what it is.
Based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 for SCT on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Right now, the U.S. is in the midst of a deadly opioid epidemic. In South Florida alone, someone suffers an overdose every 2 hours, either from heroin, fentanyl, or some other prescription medication that's as close as the family medicine cabinet. In fact, mom and dad.
Yeah, I have no idea why. I know Periscope is glitchy today,
Hardcore addiction down the road.
but I can't keep messing with all these live streams.
Are only going to get worse. This is
No, I'll stay on Liberty Eagle for as long as I can, but it's just going to disappear without notice. I don't know why. I don't know what's going
In
on.
front of your eyes and you feel helpless. I'm here to tell you that help is available. Call my good friend Sal at the Edge Recovery, 561 area code 523-4325. This is his personal cell phone, 561-523-4325. If your loved one refuses treatment, the Edge Recovery will conduct an intervention and get them into the treatment plan that they need. The Edge Recovery offers every option, from intervention to 30-day rehab to sober living to counseling with a license.
Why? I don't know.
As well as group therapy treatment. It's covered by most insurance, but no matter what your situation is, the Edge Recovery has options for you. Call Sal at the Edge Recovery. Do it today. 561 area code 523-4325. Again, that's Sal's personal cell phone. 561-523-4325.
Do you have gaps between your teeth? Are your teeth stained, crooked, cracked, or poorly shaped? You can have the smile you have always dreamed of with veneers. Brighton Dental Care has an
Yeah, Periscope's glitchy. I don't know.
Steve Kane Show listeners.
I have no idea what's going on.
The dentist in Boca and Aventura charged $10,000 to $12,000 for Steve Kane listeners at Brighton Dental, a set of 8 veneers, just $47.50. These are the exact same veneers those other dentists charged $10,000 to $12,000 for. Don't be embarrassed by your broken, crooked, or missing teeth anymore. Call Brighton Dental Care right now at 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633. Brighton Dental Care have great discounts for veterans too. 954-922-4633. Online, BrightonDentalCare.com.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Avoid probate with a revocable living trust. $350 for single people, $450 for married couples. When you complete your trust with Attorney Barry Siegel,
Yeah, everyone left Liberty Eagle, but me, I don't know why.
To Tamalino
No one told me why.
in Coral Springs. The Siegel Law Group, with 9 offices in South Florida, including Boca Raton, Plantation, and Coral Springs. Call 1-855-MLA.
Yeah. It's a group.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
All right, welcome back, everyone. My name is Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Yeah, so we're talking about this embarrassment of a debate last night. Man, what an embarrassing debate. And I'll tell you, it was so bad that this is David Axelrod, who he was senior advisor to Barack Obama. This is Axelrod giving analysis of the debate last night on CNN.
You said something interesting, which was it isn't good enough to argue that the country doesn't want this.
Steve Kane Show.
If you're running for president, that you ought to take into consideration what the country wants. And the fact is, large numbers of people oppose the Medicare for All proposal if it replaces private insurance. We've seen it in poll after poll after poll. A large number of people in this country do not believe the border should be decriminalized. A large number of people in this country don't believe that undocumented immigrants should qualify for Republican.
Okay, yeah, so even David Axelrod says the Democrats are too far to the left. By the way, has the guy that was spotted with Omar been identified yet? Is he a white guy? The Daily Mail has a very poor quality cell phone video of Omar leaving a restaurant in California with an unidentified man. He looked white, very blurry, very grainy. He sounded white. I'm not sure. They were seen holding hands, the story says, inside the restaurant. Has he yet to be identified? I'm surprised they've not identified him yet. All right, let's go to the phones. 1-888-GO-CANE-1 is our number. 888-465-2631. Teddy, you're on the radio.
Hi there. I had some impressions, Brian, and I hesitate because I may be repeating something, but number one, I think Jake Tapper did a very good job as MC. Number two, that woman, Kolodsky or whatever her name, passed off a comment about Trump's 10,000 lies as if she was getting into a warm, sudsy bath, just as if everybody knows he told 10,000 lies. And I started to hear these parables about everyone having an example of a hardship.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I know. It was interesting. Yeah, they all have one.
Warren's Addie, by the way, I think she said he had ALS, which is the Lou Gehrig.
Yes, yes.
But I think most of that stuff is made up. And 5 out of 6 of them in a row all had their own person.
Well, you know, I'll tell you this, Teddy, about these healthcare horror stories. You know, my wife has a pretty severe illness, okay? And yeah, and it's you know, having a health issue in the family is not easy. I mean, it's life-changing. But my wife and I don't talk about this too much, but because I don't, you know, my wife is involved in a lot of support for people around the country that also have her illness. And people that are suffering with severe illness, there's a lot of poverty and hardship, and it's tough. Sometimes the spouses leave them and they're alone. And my wife and I, my wife does this all the time, and we're not rich people, okay? We're not rich people. I wish we were. We send people money. My wife has paid people's electric bills. Sometimes we send people things. Sometimes my wife will do the at-home grocery delivery and just deliver simple things like toilet paper to people. You know, and you know that's just, you know, my wife does this all the time, and she, you know, there was one person who had her illness, who husband threw her out of the house, and my wife paid for a hotel room for several nights and gave her money for food and things like this. And you know, we're not rich. Here I heard Elizabeth Warren tell this story about Addie, her friend. She said her very good friend Addie, whose wife spends hours on the night begging for money. Unlike me, Elizabeth Warren is a wealthy woman. She's worth millions upon millions of dollars. Why would she let her friend's wife beg for money when she has the ability, without even blinking or having a lifestyle change, to help out Addie's family? It was so...
Most of these hard luck stories they told last night, and 5 out of the 6 first people to speak each had his own horror story. I did get one good thing out of it, aside from the fact I do think Tapper did a good job. But I also noticed a guy named Rooney, I don't know where he's from, but he seemed to me to be a centrist. He went off the rails about 9:30 with some comment, and when the Trump bashing started, I signed off at 9:42 and went to bed because I figured, okay, now they're into the heart of their shtick. They're going to bash Trump for the rest of the. I don't know whether they did or not.
Well, you know, they had those couple of no names that I can't even remember their names, and I've never heard. The governor of Montana, Tim Ryan from Ohio, Hickenlooper, and there was one other no name. You know, the bald guy that used to work for the insurance companies, the executive. You know, they had them up there as centrist. You know, and they seem so conservative up there, but they only seem centrist because these people are so far to the extreme. There's no such thing as a Democrat centrist today, not in today's environment.
Well, you're right. I mean, you know, one of the greatest centrists of our time was Senator Lieberman from Connecticut. A gentleman to be admired.
That's another generation. That generation is over. Today's generation is I mean, look at just this week when the Baltimore thing was happening. You know, Nancy Pelosi. There was a story yesterday that leaked out. Nancy Pelosi tweeted condemning Trump, and she was at a 5-star restaurant eating lunch or dinner. I'm not sure which it was in Venice, Italy, and she was there with Omar and some others from the squad. And you know what Nancy was doing? She was opening the books up to the squad. To try to get control of the squad, usually they open the books. You know, it's like when you're in the mafia, when you're a made man is when they open the books up to you. But before you're made, they don't open the books up. You know what I'm talking about? The squad is bringing the Democrats and Pelosi so far to the left. They're in so much trouble. Nancy took them to Venice and opened the books up to them a couple of terms earlier than they normally would to members of the House of Representatives to try to get control of them. That's why they were in Venice, Italy.
I can't. By the way, you know, San Francisco is Pelosi's hometown.
Yeah, Poopville.
It's the city in this country that has 5-star Michelin restaurants.
Yeah.
She's at home.
She's got to go to Italy. She's got to go to Italy. And the thing about San Francisco, you know, Poopville, they have those poop maps online because of the feces all over the sidewalks and everything. I mean, San Francisco used to be a beautiful city that people looked at, and now look at it. Look at it, you know.
I was in San Francisco for many years. I've been out there a number of times. I don't know what you would call it, before the change or before...
Before the change, yeah. But you know what? San Francisco's always been lib. But, you know, it changed when the gays started moving out there. And that's when it started to go super extreme because they got very radical. You know, Berkeley was always radical out there, but San Francisco has changed so far to the extreme left with poop and needles on the sidewalk. Who goes there as a tourist any longer?
Well, I saw this stat on the Michelin quality restaurant.
I wouldn't eat in a Michelin quality restaurant in Poopville.
The trash.
Yeah, I wouldn't eat in a restaurant in Poopville. Are you kidding? All right, take care. It's true. It's a sad thing. You know, that's a beautiful, great American city. And look at what the Democrats have done to it. They've turned it into a dump. A dump. All right, we'll take our break 33 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show. Don't go anywhere.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire of Margate, where they have all the major name brand tires like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for a Sienna van at the other tire shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the tire shops around town. Friendly Tire, only $65. That's more than a 50% savings. Those prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of used tires too at $30 for most sizes.
No, people are messaging me. I don't know what has happened to the Liberty Eagle. Everyone has left the Liberty Eagle but me, and it's going to go away at some point. That's why I'm telling everybody on Liberty Eagle, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Brian Craig on YouTube. Like my Facebook page. I put a link in the Liberty Eagle page.
If you suffer with diabetes, did you know there's a 25% chance that you will develop a foot ulcer at some point in your life? And foot ulcers, when you have diabetes, can lead to severe health consequences up to and including amputation. Now, Medicare recognizes the importance of preventative foot care and has provided coverage for those of you who are at-risk patients I want to introduce you to my good friends at the Soul Authority. At the Soul Authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own pair of therapeutic shoes made specially for diabetics. You're probably not aware, but as a diabetic Medicare recipient, you are entitled to one pair of high-quality diabetic shoes with 3 custom inserts per year. These are not the ugly Frankenstein shoes. These are name brand shoes. They're stylish. They'll provide you with the extra width and extra depth to stop diabetic foot problems before they begin. Oftentimes, amputation due to diabetes is preventable, and one of the preventable measures that is most
Steve Kane Show.
effective is wearing the proper shoes.
Hey.
Call the Soul Authority at 954-597-7060 or online at thesouleauthority.com. That's THESOLE authority.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
People put off the medical care they need for a lot of reasons. My deductible is too high. I don't have insurance. My schedule is too hectic. I just can't afford it. The time for excuses is over. Thanks to Any Lab Test Now of Plantation, where they guarantee the lowest prices on all of their thousands of lab tests. PSA, only $34. Full cholesterol lipid panel, $28. Complete thyroid panel, $49. Diabetic A1C test, only $27. No doctor's order or prescription needed. All testing is always anonymous and confidential. In and out in 15 minutes or less. Most results in 24 to 48 hours. Make sure to ask about their allergy testing, which includes micronutrient and environmental allergens, and vitamin deficiency test. Drug testing, you name it. Any Lab Test Now of Plantation probably test for it. Any Lab Test Now of Plantation is located at 8367 West Sunrise Boulevard in the Jacaranda Plaza on the corner of University Drive and Sunrise Boulevard in Plantation. Give them a call, 954-916-1072. 954-916-1072. Online, labtestingplantation.com. Take control of your health with Any Lab Test Now of Plantation. 954-916-1072.
Are you paying too much for auto insurance? Call Debbie at Iowa Advisors, 954-753-8080, and she will review your auto insurance policy at no charge. 954-753-8080. No matter what your situation is, tickets, no tickets, accidents, no accidents on your record, you may be paying too much. Call Debbie right now, 954-753-8080, and stop paying too much for auto insurance. 954-753-8080. The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Avoid probate with a revocable living trust. $50 for single people, $450 for married couples. When you complete your trust with attorney Barry Siegel, he will give you a $100 gift certificate to Tavolino Italian Restaurant in Coral Springs. The Siegel Law Group with 9 offices.
Hey guys, make sure everybody on YouTube subscribes. Subscribe and like.
Call 1-855
if you don't mind.
FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
All right, yes, we are back. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. We're talking about this embarrassment, boring debate last night. All right, let's go to Conservative Doug. You're on the radio.
Yeah, good morning, Brian. You know, I'm thinking that there certainly must be a lot more voter fraud than everybody's aware of. Because how the hell would anybody vote for any of those clowns that were on the stage yesterday? I sent you a video of that congressman saying that he thinks that an island is going to capsize. These people, and then Baltimore has only Democrats elected since 1960 or something in the House. Their places are falling apart.
See, I can tell you watched the debate last night. I can right? I can tell because everybody I talked to this morning, conservatives, right, sound asleep because you were up late past your normal bedtime watching the debate. So so what? I mean, let me ask you now. I watched the debate for one reason and one reason only. It's part of my job. I'm like, I've got to watch that. How could I do my job and not watch the debate. But why did you watch it? Why did you watch the debate?
Because I wanted to watch it to see how bad these guys really are, and how can anybody want to vote for them. I just had to see.
You had to see. You had to see.
And it was a rewarding experience to see how stupid these people are, and how I can't believe any American wants to vote for them. This is what I'm saying. It's got to be all voter fraud.
Well, yeah. You know, it's really amazing to me how fast Mayor Pete fell, because Mayor Pete was like the new it girl. And I don't say it girl because he's gay guy. I say because that's just, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I don't, what's the male equivalent of the it girl? I don't know. And then all of a sudden, Don Lemon was rude to him. He looks, Mayor Pete Buttigieg, you know, Steve said yesterday in one of the clips I played that Buttigieg sounded depressed. And I saw him last night. He is suffering from a deep depression because he actually thought he had a shot, and he's been abandoned by the left. Look at how he was. I thought when Don Lemon questioned him, he was so rude, and it surprised me because I thought they'd have a bond, both being gay. But Don Lemon was really rude to Buttigieg.
Well, I figure that they're all upset that they're on the flunky stage. That the next debate is the real people.
Yeah.
They're all upset.
Well, to me, when I watched that debate last night, and this was true of the last debate as well, it was like watching a mock debate. It was totally meaningless and meant nothing. It's just a bunch of people talking about the issues. It was like a mock debate.
And not only that, it was on at 10 o'clock at night rather than 9 o'clock, so half the people aren't going to watch.
No, it ended. It came on at 8. It was 8 to 10. It was 8 to 10, the debate. Yeah, you must have been watching the rerun.
That's what I watched, and that's what I started.
Oh my goodness! Oh my gosh! Our Trump people should be able to tell time better than that. CNN. That was the end of the debate. That was the end of the debate. It was 8 to 10 Eastern Standard Time.
I watched it for quite a while, so it must have been a rerun.
Yeah, but you're right. Tonight's the big star. No, tonight's the big stars. You got Biden, you got Kamala Harris. So tonight is supposed to be like a rematch. It's like Apollo Creed's rematch with the Italian Stallion is supposed to be tonight. But you know, Kamala Harris. See, by the way, appreciate the call, though. Kamala Harris won the last debate, they say. She was the front runner. She caught Biden off guard. He's an old senile man suffering from age-related dementia, okay? And she doesn't know that. She thinks she won something, and she's going to go in a little too confident tonight. And I'll tell you, Biden's going to be ready for her, and I don't think she's going to come out looking too good tonight. Nothing about these Democrats, which really amazed me about the Democrats last night, Elizabeth Warren in particular, because Elizabeth Warren, during and even after the debate, was asked if she would raise middle-class taxes, and she would never answer. She wouldn't confirm or deny a middle-class tax raise. I've never said that before, middle-class, because we always talk about middle-class tax cut. She wouldn't confirm nor deny it, which means she plans on raising taxes for the middle class. And this is what amazed me about Elizabeth Warren. And these other Democrats, because these other Democrats, even the ones we've never heard of and whose names I can't remember, the governor of Montana and other ones, they were saying things like Elizabeth Warren refusing to take a position on raising middle-class taxes. That tells me that they think they can win the presidency of the United States against President Donald Trump. I mean, think about that. You know, because a lot of times when I see people running for president like this, these dregs and losers and pathetic people, when I see them, to me, it looks like, you know, they're just trying to elevate themselves. Having been once you're a presidential candidate, you get a little bump up. If you get the nomination, you get a big bump up. That's a big deal if you've been a presidential candidate, a nominee of the party. And I really thought that these Democrats thought that they were just running to elevate themselves. They all, except Pete Buttigieg, because Buttigieg, you could tell last night, he knows. But other than Mayor Pete, every one of those Democrats on stage last night thinks that they can beat Donald Trump. They're delusional. They're delusional. You know, we are in an era of American prosperity that has not happened in my lifetime. This is like the post-World War II era in this country. We're in a huge economic boom. And if they actually believe that they can win, they are completely out of touch with reality. Is this Janet? Oh, no. It's time for Janet from Save-A-Lot. I clicked the line a little too early. We'll take our break, come back with our health report after this.
Brian Craig, and I want to tell you about Dr. Mitch Vitez,
Steve Kane Show.
Boca Raton Center for Age Management.
Steve
He's
Kane
my
Show.
Anti-aging doctor. That's right. I have an anti-aging doctor now. This year, I turned
Okay, is everybody in Liberty Eagle? Liberty Eagle is going away. I don't know why. I have no idea. No one's telling me. Everyone has left Liberty Eagle but me, and it could shut down at any time. So I keep telling everybody, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Brian Craig. I put the link to my YouTube channel, my link to my Facebook group, on the Liberty Eagle page. Subscribe and like them because I live stream there. I'll start live streaming on my Facebook group, but trying to get everybody to go to YouTube if I can. I don't know why it's going away. No, it's not that, or the group would be gone. The group's still there, but I'm the only one left in it. Steve Kane Show.
Reversing the symptoms of menopause, like the night sweats and the mood swings, men and women. You don't have to live with the negative effects of aging, like loss of energy, loss of sexual desire, weight gain, or menopause. Call Dr. Matez and meet with him about bioidentical hormone pellet therapy. It works for me, and it'll work for you too. He's located in Boca, and his website is hormonetherapybocaraton.com. Or give him a call, 561-953-5490. 561-953-5490.
Steve Kane Show.
And tell him Brian Craig sent you.
If you suffer with diabetes, did you know there's a 25% chance that you will develop a foot ulcer at some point in your life? And foot ulcers, when you have diabetes, can lead to severe health consequences up to and including amputation. Now, Medicare recognizes the importance of preventative foot care and has provided coverage for those of you who are at-risk patients. I want to introduce you to my good friends at the Sole Authority. With the Sole Authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own pair of therapeutic shoes made specially for diabetics. You're probably not aware, but as a diabetic Medicare recipient, you are entitled to one pair of high-quality diabetic shoes with 3 custom inserts per year. These are not the ugly Frankenstein shoes. These are name-brand shoes. They're stylish. They'll provide you with the extra width and extra depth to stop diabetic foot problems before they begin.
Oh, I got your message, Carl.
Amputation due to diabetes is preventable, and one of the preventable measures that is most effective is wearing the proper shoes. Call the Sole Authority at 954-597-7060 or online at thesoleauthority.com. That's THESOLE authority.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you. For the best wings in this town, it's Wings Plus. Wings that are first grilled and then fried to make them extra crispy, served with blue cheese and celery. Try the Jamaican jerk, the lemon pepper wings, the honey mustard wings, the garlic wings, and 15 other varieties. That's Wings Plus, located at 9880.
Yes, I'm in the basement,
Coral
yes.
Springs with a politically elite meat.
Listen to the Steve Kane
Oops.
Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All right, welcome back. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show. By the way, those of you out there, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Brian Craig on YouTube. I live stream on YouTube, Brian Craig on YouTube. I have hundreds and hundreds of videos, and I live stream the radio show each and every morning on YouTube Live. Brian Craig on YouTube. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the radio.
Yeah, hi, Brian. This is Jim from New Jersey.
Hey, Jim in New Jersey.
Listen, Brian, I was shocked. None of the candidates, nobody talked about the Mueller report.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even pick up on that. That's a good takeaway. You're absolutely correct.
That's amazing. That means that whole ball game is over. Even the so-called future investigation. The Democrats realize they lost on that issue, and they're bright enough to know to leave it alone.
Yeah, that's a very good observation. I didn't pick up on that. And when I was going through the news this morning, I didn't see any of the analysis of the debate mention that. Yeah, and if Mueller was still a thing, they would have been talking all about that. Also, did anybody come out in favor of removing the trash, crime, and rats from Baltimore, Maryland?
No.
No. The last call, I didn't give the guy a hard time, but earlier caller was commending Jake Tapper. I don't think so. Jake Tapper was asking very vague, generalized questions. There were really no specific questions about much of anything. And what I wonder is, to be fair because they have so many Democrats, it's got to be over 2 nights. Are they going to ask the same questions tonight that they asked last night? Yeah, I mean they spent the first 40 minutes at least of the actual debate on Medicare for all and everything, but they were very vague, generalized questions. There wasn't anything really specific that Jake Tapper asked. So no, I don't think Jake Tapper did a good job at all, unless his job was to make it vanilla, which maybe it was.
It was softball approach, that's for sure.
Yeah. I noticed in for Jake Tapper yesterday afternoon was Chris Cuomo. Do you know what Chris Cuomo calls Don Lemon?
What?
He doesn't call him Don. He calls him D. Is it really appropriate to be calling an openly gay man D on television when his name is Don? Because that just seems like an odd nickname. It seems almost like a homophobic kind of nickname, if for Don Lemon, calling him D, doesn't it? I don't know. Chris Cuomo trying to be hipster. That's what went through when I heard him call him D, because I don't watch Chris Cuomo's show. It's on too late at night for me. It's on CNN and all of that. I just thought that was a little too much. All right, appreciate the call. All right, yes. Another one of our, we haven't heard from any Democrats today. Every caller has been a sleepy Republican, because apparently Republicans, at least in this listening audience, go to bed very early, because every Republican who is called in today has been half asleep. Have you noticed that? We've been on the air 2 hours. They've all been half asleep. Republicans must go to bed at like 8 o'clock on the East Coast. All right, our number 1-888-GO-KANE-1. In the 8 o'clock hour, I'll play for you the Marianne Williamson apology for being white at the church, and that was just so strange. I've never quite seen anything like it. And where are the Jews? Bernie Sanders. Listen to this. This is Bernie Sanders. Listen to this.
You've been very critical of Bibi Netanyahu and the Israeli government. We spent $2 billion on aid to Israel. Would you ever consider using that aid as leverage to get the Israeli government back?
Absolutely. Okay, so Bernie Sanders said on an interview that he would cut foreign aid to our closest ally in the Middle East, Israel. Where are the Jews? Where's the ADL? Where are the supporters of Israel? Oh, hold on, I gotta block somebody. Hold on a second here. Someone's making perverted comments in the Scuzzy Periscope chat. I mean, I couldn't believe. And then he goes on. Listen to this. He goes on a little bit. So he says he's going to cut funding to Israel, and then he gives some reasons why.
You've been very critical of Bibi Netanyahu and the Israeli government. We spent $2 billion on aid to Israel. Would you ever consider using that aid as leverage to get the Israeli government back?
We are giving large sums of money. Look, let me back it up before the tweets start flowing in. I lived in Israel. Actually, I worked in a kibbutz for a number of months. I have family in Israel. I am Jewish.
He's Jewish. He has family in Israel. He's lived there. Okay. These endless... It's been going on since 1945, 1946, since the war ended. How did the Holocaust happen? How did the Holocaust happen? Books have been written, college courses, documented. It's a question that's always asked and discussed. And you see all the time how the Holocaust happened, why it happened. People don't point it out when you see it. That's how it happened. Jews that are self-hating Jews, like Bernie Sanders, who don't support the Jewish state. What the hell? You know, that's the Jewish state. And you're a Jew? The Torah tells this is the land that God gave the Jews. It's right there. It's in the Bible, Torah, right? It's there. And here you got one of the leading presidential candidates right now, because he is one of the leading Democrat candidates. He's in the top 3, isn't it? Biden, Bernie, and Warren right now. Kamala around down the 3rd, 4th. You know, he's in the top 3. He says he is going to end funding to our ally Israel. Where are the Jewish voices criticizing that? And, you know, there was this talk yesterday on The View, the day before, Joy Behar, that Elijah Cummings can't be racist. Trump called him racist because he's a black guy. Blacks can't be racist. This is an old liberal line. And the line used to be, what they used to tell you is, blacks can't be racist because racism takes power. Blacks are disenfranchised and don't have the power. Elijah Cummings got a lot of power. He's a senior member of the House of Representatives. We've had a black president. That's an old thing. Can you be Jewish and be anti-Semitic? Is it possible? Can you be a Jew and be anti-Semitic? I say yes. Okay? I say yes. And Bernie Sanders is an example of that. Let me play the rest of this before the top of the hour because he attacks Netanyahu.
You've been very critical of the Netanyahu and the Israeli government. We spent a few $1 billion on aid to Israel. Would you ever consider using that aid as leverage to get the Israeli government back?
Absolutely. I mean, we are giving large sums of money. Look, let me back it up before the tweets start flowing in. I lived in Israel. Actually, I worked in a kibbutz.
Oh, well, that makes it okay.
I am Jewish. I am not anti-Israel. Okay? I believe that the people of Israel have absolutely the right to live in peace, independence, and security. End of discussion. That is what I fervently believe.
But he says he believes it, but then he wants to do things to Israel that make it impossible for them to live in peace and be independent and be the Jewish state.
But I think what has happened is, in recent years under Netanyahu, you have an extreme right-wing government with many racist tendencies. The role of the United States, and this is not easy, you know, I believe Clinton tried it, Obama tried it, Jimmy Carter tried it, this is not easy stuff, is to try to finally bring peace to the Middle East and to treat the Palestinian people with the kind of respect and dignity they deserve. Our policy cannot just be pro-Israel, pro-Israel, pro-Israel. It has got to be pro-region, working with all of the people, all of the countries in that area.
Oh, well, that's brilliant, Bernie Sanders. To have peace in the Middle East for the Jews, we must do away with the Jewish state. But I support the Jewish state. We must cut their funding so they can't defend themselves and support themselves. Israel, as hard as it is to believe, is a poor country. It is a poor country. People don't realize it. It's a very poor country. They have zero natural resources. They've got nice beaches, and of course the artifacts of the 3 major religions, right? Christianity, Judaism. Christianity is Judaism, and of course Islam, right? Because Muhammad ascended into heaven there. So, but so it's a tourist destination and beaches. That's all they got. They don't have oil. They don't have gold. They don't have silver underground. A tiny little place. And without the funding that the United States gives them, Israel would not be able to survive. It would not be. That's how the Holocaust happened. Jews selling out Jews because there's a lot of self-hating Jews out there. And yes, you can be black and be racist, and you can be a Jew and be anti-Semitic. As crazy as that sounds, you can be a Jew and be anti-Semitic and anti-Israel. There used to be... there's been a big change in the last few years about this. Jews as a group in this country have typically been liberal. There's been a big shift In the last 10 years, it used to be rare to meet a conservative Jew in America, but you meet more and more conservative Jews all the time. Trump's got a large number of the Jewish community are behind him, very unusual for a Republican. There's been a big change. But liberal Jews, there used to be an old saying that liberal Jews were doves here at home in the United States and hawks in Israel. That they were that liberal Jews were liberal in America and conservative in Israel, which means that they would have liberal positions in this country so far as national defense and things like this. But when it came to Israel, even liberal Jews had a hawkish position. That's changed now. The haters of Israel's biggest ally in this country are liberal Jews like Bernie Sanders. All right, it's 8:01. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Third and final hour begins now.
970 is WWNN Pompano Beach and 95.3 FM W237BD Boca Raton, the Health and Wealth Radio Network.
This is Brian Craig, and I want to tell you about Dr. Mitch Patez,
Steve Kane Show.
Boca Raton Center for Age Management. He's my anti-aging.
Hey, Janet, hold on.
That's right. I have an anti-aging doctor now. This year, I turned 45.
Well, wait a minute. I don't see a purse. Hold on.
I met with Dr. Patez, and he found that my testosterone level.
Oh, yeah.
Low.
It's sitting on your chair.
Losing our testosterone
Yeah, I see it in there.
starting
That room has been locked. I
every
locked that
year
room when we
after
leave,
that.
so
Dr. Patez
nobody has
told me
access.
I was approaching the beginning of
Okay.
menopause.
What time are you going to be here?
Equivalent of menopause. I began
Yeah, hurry, because I got a meeting elsewhere, and Steve's not here. I'll be taking off.
And now my testosterone levels are being
Okay,
restored
bye.
to where they were when I was 25.
Janet Cimarelli left her purse here yesterday. This room, I don't have a key to Steve's studio. Every day I climb on the desk through the window to get in there. So you guys will see me. I'm going to climb over there now.
Symptoms of menopause, like the night sweats and the mood swings, men and women. You don't have to live with the negative effects of aging, like loss of energy, loss of sexual desire, weight gain, or menopause. Call Dr. Matez and meet with him about bioidentical hormone pellet therapy. It works for me, and it'll work for you too. He's located in Boca, and his website is hormonetherapybocaraton.com.
Say.
Or give him a call.
I don't have a key to that door.
553-5490.
I know, it's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy.
5490. And tell him Brian Craig sent you.
Denture wearers, are messy adhesives ruining the taste of your food? Is it painful for you to eat? Does the constant denture movement affect your speech?
I've been wearing Vans forever, man.
Fall out while you're talking or laughing? Do you have sore spots? You are not alone. These are common problems that can be solved simply with dental implants. This is Steve Kane, and I want to introduce you to Brighton Dental Care, where the Kane family goes for all our dental needs. Brighton Dental Care doesn't want cost to stop you from being able to eat the foods you love again and live in comfort. That's why, for Steve Kane listeners, they're offering implants, get this, for just $3,500. That includes 2 implants plus a lower denture. Now, if you go to a dentist in Boca or in Aventura, they're going to charge you $6,000 for the exact same implants and denture. That's right, $6,000, but at Brighton Dental
Did I ever have a mohawk? No.
$500, and that includes the 2 implants plus your lower denture. Laugh and live.
Trump didn't say he was a first
Call
responder.
Brighton Dental Care at 954-922-4633, 954-922-4633, and online at brightondentalcare.com. Be sure to ask about special discounts for our
Steve Kane
military
Show.
veterans.
Hey, Bob.
Right now, the U.S. is in the midst of a deadly opioid epidemic. In South Florida alone, someone suffers an overdose every 2 hours, either from heroin, fentanyl, or some other prescription medication that's as close as the family medicine cabinet. In fact, mom and dad's medicine cabinet is frequently the gateway to the horrors of hardcore addiction down the road. Drug problems left unattended are only going to get worse. This is not something you can do on your own. You need expert professional help, and if your family is disintegrating disintegrating in front of your eyes and you feel helpless, I'm here to tell you that help is available. Call my good friend Sal at the Edge Recovery, 561 area code 523-4325. This is his personal cell phone, 561-523-4325. If your loved one refuses treatment, the Edge Recovery will conduct an intervention. And
Now again, all the Liberty Eagle people, everyone has left Liberty Eagle but me. The Liberty Eagle is going away without notice. I don't know why. I don't know why. So if you're a Liberty Eagle person, I just put the link. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Brian Craig on YouTube. I put my Facebook group as well on the Liberty Eagle page. Like that page as well.
561 area code 523-4325. Again, that's Sal's personal cell phone. 561-523-4325.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Avoid probate with a revocable living trust.
I don't know why.
$50 for single people, $450
It's a Facebook group, conservative Facebook group I live stream on, and it's going away. So it's being disbanded. It's not my group.
The Siegel Law Group with 9 offices in South Florida.
But that's okay. There's other ways. So I'm just trying to get everybody to move from there. So press 1 if you've already subscribed to my Facebook and YouTube. 2 if you have not, on Facebook Live only on Liberty Eagle.
And not necessarily those of the station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
The Steve Kane Show is live in Morning Drive.
I can't take their name.
9 a.m. weekdays and overnights midnight till 6 a.m. 7 nights a week. To call the show toll free, 1-800.
All righty. Third and final hour has begun. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. So can you be Jewish and anti-Semitic? I would say Bernie Sanders seems to be a self-hating Jew. Right? I support Israel. I just don't want to support anything that allows Israel to exist. All right, let's talk to Bob Reich. Bob Reich, I'm sure, has some opinions on that. You're on the radio, Bob.
Hi there, Brian. Do you have an opinion? I don't understand where you live.
Yeah.
I wanted you to talk about self-hating Jews and phonies. Why don't we look at our own local politics? Debbie Wasserman Schultz goes to temples and tells everybody I'm a Jewish girl. But what happens in Congress? Farrakhan is entertained there, right?
Oh, yeah.
By the Black Caucus. What about Deutsch, who I'm sure in your district?
Yeah.
All the temples as well. What about Schumer? What about Diane?
Well, I'll tell you, the thing about, Bob, you talk about Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Debbie Wasserman Schultz has been missing in action for a while. I don't hear about her. She's not in the news anymore. What happened to Debbie Wasserman Schultz?
Well, her office is still functioning. You can call and tell her.
Yeah, but she's taken a back seat. It's not. I don't miss her. Don't get me wrong, but
it's such a production. Even if she's in a bad, she runs on being Jewish.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And all these other people, and she has not. She's got a big mouth about Trump. She's got a big mouth about Republicans, but doesn't say about Omar and that crew, those anti-Semites. So
yeah,
I think our Congress is filled with, if we're going to define them as self-hating Jews or sellout Jews.
Yeah, sellout. Yeah.
What about Schiff?
Basically, when you talk about Schiff, you talk about Schumer, we talk about Bert. They're collaborators. They're collaborators, is what they are. Traitors. You talk about Ted Deutsch. Ted Deutsch, who's he's my voice in Congress. I'm embarrassed to tell you. Ted Deutsch, Democrat, he represents Parkland. And, when these Parkland kids graduate college, one of them's going to run against him for that seat. And I'll be I'm really looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to that. Because he'll...
You're really on to something, Ryan, because I've been saying this for a long time. I'm a member of Jewish Outreach trying to get to people, but you know what the story is? Mary Strand, one of my friends, Mary Strand, who lives up in one of those Boynton Beach communities, she'd lose all her friends.
No, please.
Were to say anything about Trump. That's the kind of how fanatically ignorant they are.
Yeah.
You can't even voice your opinion in those mostly Jewish.
And you know, the problem is there's so many young Jewish voices now that are not supporting Israel because, you know, what happens is this, you know, a very high percentage of Jewish people go to college, and what happens? They go to college and they learn to hate Israel, and they become self-hating Jews while they're in college, and they graduate college and they hate Israel. It's you know, it's terrible what's going on with the Jewish community politically.
It truly is, Brian. It's just terrible, and the cowardice of the ones who do see what's going on but won't speak out.
It works now, but it won't soon.
Anti-Defamation League.
Everyone's left it but me, if you notice.
Defamation over there in Congress.
No one's posted up there but me in weeks.
I don't hear see them saying anything about that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. All right, Bob, I appreciate the call. Thanks so much. That's Bob Reich. Always something, a bad phone connection. You know, I want to get into this. Marianne Williamson, the author who was up there last night, did this very bizarre thing in church with having the white people laid hands on the black people in the church and asked for forgiveness for being white. And let me play the audio. You have to hear it to believe it. I mean, it's so bizarre. This should have been the first question out of the box to her in the debate last night. Listen to this craziness.
As I speak, I'm going to ask the white...
Now, by the way, Marianne Williamson, what kind of accent does she... Is this a speech impediment she has? Or is this a regional accent that I don't recognize?
Americans in the room to please repeat after me.
Oh, I talked over her thing. Hold on, let me go back.
As I speak, I'm going to ask the white Americans in the room to please repeat after me. On behalf of myself and on behalf of my country.
Oh. Wow.
To you and all African Americans, from the beginning of our nation's history, in honor of your ancestors and on behalf of your children,
This is craziness.
please hear this from my heart. I apologize. Please forgive us.
For being white.
With this prayer, I acknowledge the depth of the evils that have been perpetrated against black people in America. From slavery to lynchings to white supremacist laws to the denial of voting rights.
Now, by the way, this list she goes through was all brought to us by the Democrat Party when she goes through this. What Marianne Williamson list is it used to be the Democrat platform. Listen.
From slavery.
Okay, slavery, that was the Democrats, right?
From slavery to lynchings.
Lynchings. Every black man lynched in America was lynched by a Democrat. And every black man lynched in America was a Republican.
To white supremacist laws.
White supremacist laws, the black codes, Jim Crow, Democrat laws.
To the denial of voting rights.
Denial of voting rights, that was the Democrat Party in the South. She just listed 4 things, all brought to you by the great Democrat Party.
Denial of voting rights. To all the ways, both large and small, all of them evil, all of them wrong, for all the oppression and all of the injustices. I apologize. Please forgive us. Well, first...
Wow, there you have. I mean, that is... Yeah, that's cult-like right there. That is cult-like, and there's something really going on here. I'm going to take this break on time because if in this hour I get behind on the breaks, we'll be in trouble. The Democrats are forming a new religious cult, and they're using Christianity to do it. And I'll tell you about it when we get back. This Marianne Williamson, that was in a church, and that was a prayer. We'll talk about that and I'll expand on what I was saying to you right after this. Steve Kane Show.
It's a 2019 showroom.
Yeah, again, everyone on Liberty Eagle, I'm telling you, the Liberty Eagle will be disappearing soon. Everyone has left Liberty Eagle but me. And I don't know why, but it's getting shut down. So, I know I've been talking about this a lot, but we got a lot of people that watch there. So, if you're on Liberty Eagle, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Brian Craig. I got the link in there. I'm going to put the links up. And on my Facebook group page, which I have on the Liberty Eagle Facebook page. I don't know why, but it's being shut down. That's my YouTube. And then here goes my Facebook page. Yeah, I don't know why. Oh, man. I am 9 followers away from 3,300 on my YouTube channel. So if you guys don't follow me on YouTube, give me the 3,300 number, Brian Craig on YouTube. I'd appreciate it.
C-Test, only $27. No doctor's order or prescription needed. All testing is always anonymous and confidential. In and out in 15 minutes or less. Most results in 24 to 48 hours. Make sure to ask about their allergy testing, which includes micronutrient and environmental allergies, and vitamin deficiency test, drug testing, you name it. Any lab test now or plantation, probably test for it. Any lab test now or plantation is located at 8367 West Sunrise Boulevard in the Jacaranda Plaza on the corner of University Drive and Sunrise Boulevard in Plantation. Give them a call, 954-916-1072, 954-916-1072. Online, labtestingplantation.com. Take control of your health with any lab test now of Plantation, 954-916-1072.
Listen to The Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. On the radio since 1977. That's right. Let's go to the phones, and I'll get back into what I was talking about. Of course, we're the day after the very boring Democrat debate. You're on the radio. Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Ron from Michigan.
Hey, Ron. What's up?
I just watched the debate last night. I thought it was pretty interesting.
Oh, good. Oh, this is great. Share with me what you found most interesting about the Democrat debate. What was most interesting?
Most interesting, actually, is on a more serious level, and that's the health care thing, where basically they promised the same thing that Obama did with his Obamacare, and that is we're going to give health care to everybody. They needed the unions to fully support it, and the unions fully did, and then then Obama carved out.
Yeah, I know the history, but you're talking about Obama. What was interesting about the debate last night, I found it to be the most boring presidential debate I think I have ever seen.
For the most part, yeah.
So there was really nothing interesting.
Serious part was, when they basically, kept supporting or mentioning over and over again how the unions have done this.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of talk of the unions. I'm glad you reminded me of that because I'd forgotten to mention that. Here they are sitting in a city that was once a great American city, Detroit, Michigan, which is basically abandoned. And it used to be Motor City. I don't even think do they make cars in Detroit any longer? Not as many as they used to, if they do. Vast neighborhoods, just abandoned ghost towns. And it's abandoned because of what? The unions. The unions drove raises, or drove salaries and things so high up everybody left Detroit.
I don't know, all of the stuff, all of the pension funding and everything like that. I mean,
Well, the pensions, the benefits, the unions destroyed the city they were in. They're standing in a ghost town. Like the old ghost towns of the West after the gold rush, right, era. And the Democrat unions destroyed it. And every time I hear one of these Democrats mention that their daddy was a union steward for number 606 iron workers or something, I just think about they're in a town that's empty, a ghost town, because of the unions. All right, hey, listen, appreciate the call. So let me get back. I was talking about this before the break. The Democrats are forming a cult. So let me just play a little bit of the Williamson thing, then I'll explain.
As I speak, I'm going to ask the white Americans in the room to please repeat after me. On behalf of myself and on behalf of my country, to you and all African Americans, from the beginning of our nation's history.
Okay, it goes on. Now, you may have seen the video. Did they show this video on Fox? They should. It's frightening. It was in a church, Marianne Williamson, novelist and presidential candidate, leading this prayer of forgiveness. The white people laid hands on the closest black person to them while they were doing this. And it is scary because a cult is being formed. And last night, Buttigieg, let me see here. Where is the Buttigieg clip I wanted to play? Yeah, this one here. Listen, this is Pete Buttigieg last night.
Like, the minimum wage is just too low. And so-called conservative Christian senators right now in the Senate are blocking a bill to raise the minimum wage when Scripture says that whoever oppresses the poor taunts their maker.
Okay. So Scripture is telling us to increase the minimum wage. Marianne Williamson is leading a liberal, psychopathic prayer in a church. They're forming a new religion. I know a lot of people think liberalism has been a religion for a long time and a cult. Maybe it has been, but they're trying to form a new mainstream version of Christianity. And, this is what the socialists do, the communists, the socialists. They take things that are already embraced in a society and they make it their own. Sometimes it's leaders and historical figures, And, 1984, war is peace, remember that in 1984? War is peace. Do you remember that? That's what the Democrats are doing. They're quoting Scripture now, telling us it was just a decade ago. Obama said that conservatives were holding on to our guns and Bibles. Now they're trying to tell us that Christianity is preaching liberalism. This is textbook example of a cult. Jim Jones, David Koresh. I mean, this is what's going on here. A lot of Kool-Aid drinking going on here. This should be front and center. But the mainstream media, they don't want to touch on this because they're here to help these people, not expose them for being nutcases. I've never seen something. Now, I've been to churches when politicians have come in. I was once in church and they had a Democrat come in and speak. It was appalling to have a Democrat speak in a church. You can't be pro-abortion and be in church telling, there's a conflict there. But, yeah, I mean, that's craziness right there. And Pete Buttigieg is always invoking Christianity to promote his agenda. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hi, good morning, Brian. Chris.
Hey, Chris. What's happening?
It's the same as politics. I mean, matter of convenience, this new religion, right? I mean, should we tell Buttigieg what the scripture says about homosexuality? I mean,
No, we're going to remove that from Scripture.
Evil things that they're doing.
Yeah, no, we're going to remove that from Scripture. It doesn't fit the agenda.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, matter of convenience, just like your political correctness. You know, they don't want the same rules. I mean, I get sick every time I hear Hillary talk about rule of law or fact-finding and all this garbage. Come on. I mean, so many lawyers dealing with all these investigations. Do they all know what?
Well, you know, Marianne Williamson. Have you seen the video of this prayer of forgiveness of the white people? It's bizarre. It's bizarre. You know, Marianne Williamson, from what I understand, my wife tells me she was a big author back in the 90s, in large part due to Oprah. I guess she was part of the Oprah Book Club back in the Oprah Winfrey Show days. Whites asking black people for forgiveness comes from Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey, I saw her one time on her show, Oprah Winfrey. She had this overweight white woman in the audience got up, and it was all done. It was all known about. You know, this was all set up in the studio audience, and Oprah asked her to tell the story, and the woman got up and she stood up with her was a young black guy. The black guy is a UPS driver, and he was delivering a package to this white woman's home. This was on Oprah, and she says the doorbell rang. It was whatever his name was, the UPS guy with my package. I broke down in tears, hugged him, and asked him for forgiveness for all the wrongs whites have done to him and other African Americans. I saw that on the Oprah Winfrey Show, and Oprah set that whole thing up. And it was a long time ago, but I talked about it on the radio at the time, so some of you old-time radio listeners will remember that. It was many, many years ago. And now Marianne Williamson, who's very famous because of Oprah, Oprah's like her cult leader. You know what I mean? Oprah Winfrey is like the L. Ron Hubbard of Marianne Williamson's life. This white people asking black people for forgiveness. It started with Oprah. It's bizarre.
Pathetic.
Yeah.
My family's from Georgia. We still have our farmland.
Oh. Were your family sharecroppers?
Well, exactly. My father had a nice big farming business, and he tended to his farm. And after that, he was a carpenter. Because farming, you do what you have to do in the morning and the evening, and that's it. There's plenty of other times to do.
You know, you got to love the Democrats, right? These candidates. Bernie Sanders, self-hating Jew. Other Democrat, Marianne Williamson, self-hating white person. It's absolutely amazing what they got going on.
And they keep using slavery and racism. It's ridiculous. Slavery didn't exist. It existed before America. And the first thing Republicans and conservatives wanted to do as reform this country was get rid of it.
Yes.
The Democrats didn't want to.
That's right. That's right. All right, appreciate the call, Chris. Yeah. So maybe the cult leader is Oprah Winfrey. Oh, you know, Steve told me yesterday that Rush Limbaugh was floating this idea of Michelle Obama coming in as the great savior of the Democrat Party and running. And I know a lot of people, Richie the bus driver has been telling me that Michelle Obama is going to come in and run at the last minute. And I'm hearing that, and Rush yesterday, I'm hearing this from a lot of Republicans. I don't think that's the case for a number of reasons. One, Michelle Obama has never had a job in her life. She's never done anything in her life. I think she's going to run again. And the thing about her, her and Obama may not really even be together anymore, for all I know. They don't seem to be together very often, do they? I don't even know if they're a couple, but that doesn't matter. The Clintons haven't been together for a long time either. They could come around for campaigns. But he is a two-term president. She is the first lady from a two-term president. I don't think Michelle Obama is going to jump in a race with the possibility of losing it. Because once you lose, you're a loser. And once you're a loser for life. And she's kind of on top of the heat now because they got the two-term presidency. So I don't buy that. You know, what a lot of people want that are in media, talk radio, definitely the television, when it comes to a presidential race, you know, that debate, what was the purpose of that debate last night, do you think? The CNN presidential debate and the one tonight. there's one purpose for the Democrat debate or any of these debates right now. The purpose is ratings. Ratings. What the media want, including a lot of people in talk radio. I'm not saying this about Rush Limbaugh. I don't know. I don't really listen to Rush. Really, I don't. Just that time of day, I don't listen. Steve does though. The thing about media and talk radio and presidential races and campaigns is they want a horse race. They want a competition. A competition is good for ratings. So the media are always trying to create a competition because with a competition there's suspense. It's like a television drama, right? You know, if you're making a war movie, one of the best kind of war movies to make is a siege because there's suspense and drama. So they're always trying to have suspense and drama. And if there's a competition, you've got people rooting on both sides. They're tuning in to root on both sides. Michelle Obama ain't running. There's no way she's going to go out a loser. And think about it. You're talking about a woman who's never had a job in her life. Hillary Clinton, she worked hard to become a presidential nominee. She worked at a law firm. She worked hard as first lady, traveled around doing diplomacy. I'm not respecting her. I don't like her, but you know, she became a United States Senator and Secretary of State. She worked to get to the position of being a nominee of a political party. Michelle Obama not only has never done any of that, she's never had a real job. You think all of a sudden she's going to work? Don't think so. I don't think so. All right, 31 minutes after the hour. My name is Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back.
This is Steve Kane. For years, I searched for the right pillow, and I could never find one that was truly comfortable. All that has changed now that I'm sleeping with My Pillow. Mike Lindell, the inventor of My Pillow, loves Donald Trump, and he loves a good night's sleep. He invented My Pillow, and there's a reason it's so popular. Very simply, it works. It keeps your head perfectly aligned with your body, so you don't wake up in the morning with headaches and neck pain. You get a perfect night's sleep. Order My Pillow using the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, and save over 50% off the special 4-pack. That includes 2 premium pillows and 2 go-anywhere pillows.
I'm 7 people away from 3,300 followers on YouTube. Can 10 of you subscribe to my YouTube channel? Get me over 3,300. Brian Craig on YouTube.
1-800 toll-free 716-4879.
Is that too much to ask?
Use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, or call 1-800-716-4879. Use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E.
Are you paying too much for auto insurance? Call Debbie at Iowa Advisors, 954-753-8080, and she will review your auto insurance policy at no charge. 954-753-8080. No matter what your situation is, tickets, no tickets, accidents, no accidents on your record, you may be paying too much. Call Debbie right now, 954-753-8080, and stop paying too much for auto insurance. 954-753-8080.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire of Margate, where they have all the major name brand tires like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for a Sienna van at the other tire shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the tire shops around town. Friendly Tire, only $65. That's more than a 50% savings. Those
5 more. I need 5 more to 3,000.
Free mounting and balancing, and no.
So if I can get 10 and get me over the hump, 4 more. Okay, keep doing it, guys. Brian Craig on YouTube. If you guys could get me to 3,300, I'd appreciate it.
Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive, and he will give you a great low price right over the phone. 954
We're getting there.
977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
Right now, the U.S. is in the midst of a deadly opioid epidemic. In South Florida alone, someone suffers an overdose every 2 hours, either from heroin, fentanyl, or some other prescription medication that's as close as the family medicine cabinet. In fact, Mom and Dad's medicine cabinet is frequently the gateway to the horrors of hardcore addiction down the road. Drug problems left unattended are only going to get worse. This is not something you can do on your own.
An after
You
show?
need
I might, yeah, I
expert
will.
Professional help, and if your family is disintegrating in front of your eyes and you feel helpless, I'm here to tell you that help is available. Call my good friend Sal at The Edge Recovery, 561 area code 523-4325. This is his personal cell phone, 561-523-4325.
It doesn't say 32. I'm getting 3296.
The Edge Recovery will conduct
3296
and get them into the treatment plan that they need. The Edge Recovery offers every option, from intervention to 30-day rehab to sober living to counseling with a licensed therapist, as well as group therapy treatment. It's covered by most insurance, but no matter what your situation is, the Edge Recovery has options for you. Call Sal at The Edge Recovery. Do it today. 561 area code 523-4325. Again, that's Sal's personal cell phone, 561-523-4325.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Avoid probate with a revocable living trust. $350 for single people, $450 for married couples. When you complete your trust with attorney Barry Siegel, he will give you a $100 gift certificate to Tavolino Italian Restaurant in Coral Springs. The Siegel Law Group, with 9 offices in South Florida, including Boca Raton, Plantation, and Coral Springs. Call 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
Maybe I will.
Just search for W.
Alrighty now, welcome back. I'm Brian Craig. Steve's going to be back with us tomorrow. Took today off. Steve Kane will be back live in studio tomorrow. All right, my name is Brian Craig. Welcome to the show. We're here in Morning Drive live from 6 until 9 a.m. with overnight rebroadcast midnight till 6 a.m. And weekday mornings, I know this sounds crazy to people. Weekday mornings, the Steve Kane Show is on midnight to 9 a.m. Monday through Friday. Can you imagine? Midnight till 9 a.m. from Monday through Friday. I know, it's crazy. The Steve Kane Show is on the air over 1,200 hours a month. And by the way, that does not include YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Periscope, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, all the play. That I'm not even including everything. But we broadcast over 1,200 hours a month. The longest running radio show in the state of Florida. The Steve Kane Show. I know, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. They tell you, this show's been around for a long time. Of course, because of you guys out there who have supported us all these years, but it's also a lot of work behind the scenes for Steve Kane and myself over the years. And we've actually been on this radio station that we're on now, our primary radio station, AM 1470. This is in August, will be our 21st year on this radio station. 21 years on this radio station. Steve Kane Show has been on the air in Florida since 77, in South Florida since 83. I've been with the show most of that time, as crazy as that is. And, we have our Steve Kane Cruise coming up. If you have not yet made reservations for the Steve Kane Cruise, do it. Do it. This is going to be a great cruise. This is our largest one yet. We're leaving out of Fort Lauderdale beginning of November and heading to first the Cayman Islands, then Costa Maya, Mexico, with the beautiful Mayan ruins, Cozumel, then back to Fort Lauderdale. It's 6 days. We leave on a Friday afternoon and return Thursday morning. Steve and I will be on the air the Friday that we sail, and we'll miss 4 days the following week with Best of shows back on the air live the next Friday. Although maybe a little hungover and a little dreary, but this is a great one. We have a great time on these cruises. This is our third one. And those of you that have been before, you know what I'm talking about. Those of you that have not made reservations, you really should. The first night, we have dinner together every night. We have a lot of shipboard activities. The first night, we do a live in-person talk show with Steve Kane and myself. And we have a special room where we do this, which is a beautiful room which has a huge, full-size, from ceiling to floor, glass window view of the ocean. And it's just a direct view to the ocean. And we do our live in-person talk show on the first night, cocktail party, like I say, the dinner together every night. We plan shore excursions together. We have all kinds of shipboard activities. Call Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot. He'll go through the whole itinerary, which is very, very long. We got a lot of activities planned. Ian's number at Cruise and Travel Depot. Call him right now. If you're an overnight listener, call him at night. Leave a message. He will call you back during business hours. 561-244-5779. Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot. His number is listed at SteveKaneShow.com. 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779. That's Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot. And I know we've got people flying in. We've got a lot of South Florida listeners coming. And we've got a lot of people flying in from all over America. California, Colorado, New Mexico, Connecticut, New Jersey, New York, even other parts of Florida. And it's really a great time. And it's really a Trump cruise. It's Trump-minded people. And I stay, this is my yearly vacation. So I stay up till the bars close. And there's, this ship is the sister ship of the one we went on last year, the Celebrity Silhouette. And there's a room called the Ensemble Lounge, which is filled with beautiful velvet furniture. It looks like a gentleman's club from the Victorian era. A gentleman's club today is a strip joint. It doesn't look like a strip joint. It's like a very classy, upscale, gentleman's club-like feel. And I stay there every night until 2, 3 in the morning. They have live music there, and we just stay up and talk and have a great time, and then wake up the next morning and start it all over again. Drinks are included. So join us on the Steve Kane Cruise to the Cayman Islands. Everyone is invited except Al the John. Al the John is not invited. Okay, liberal Al the John. You are not invited, Al the John. But everybody else in the listening audience is. Yeah, so tonight's the second debate, and this is the one that should be more interesting because, you know, Kamala Harris, what she's doing tonight is trying to solidify herself as the front runner. And to do that, she's going to have to come out with a devastating attack on Joe Biden. I don't think Joe Biden is, the thing with Joe Biden, Joe Biden, I call him the Demolition Man, Joe Biden. Remember Demolition Man with Sylvester Stallone, Sandra Bullock, and Wesley Snipes? Wesley Snipes and Sylvester Stallone were frozen in suspended animation and woken up into the future. And remember, like, profanity was illegal. And every time Sylvester Stallone would say a curse word, he would get fined. Remember this? That's what it's like for Joe Biden. Joe Biden is a man from another time. It's like if you went back to the first season of Mad Men, when it was, 1960, 61, and you took Don Draper or one of the guys from The Office and transported them to 2019, and they were running for president. He's a man from another time. He's Demolition Man. But Kamala Harris is not going, she likes to act as if she was involved in the integration movement. She was not. And she's done a very good job of confusing segregation and busing. I was that girl. I was bused. I was bused too. A lot of people were bused. Busing was not being segregated. It's a totally different thing. People were opposed to busing because kids were put on buses and sent 30 miles away from their home to go to first grade, and parents wanted their kids to stay in the neighborhood where they lived to go to school. Many people were opposed to busing, okay, because they didn't want their kids sent to the other side of town because they move into a neighborhood because the schools are great. I bought my house because more because of the schools than the house. House was not even, really, it was the neighborhood, the schools. Wanted my daughter to have a first-rate public school education, and that's why people were opposed to busing. Joe Biden, a lot of people were opposed to busing. He wasn't a segregationist. So far as him having connections to all these segregationist senators, the Democrat Party is the party of segregation. All the senior senators and all the senior members of the House of Representatives that were Democrats at the time were segregationists because that was their generation. So he's in a lot of trouble there. But when you get down to it with Kamala Harris, they keep calling her the front runner. There's not a lot of there. She's very vacuous. She's a one-trick pony with this busing story. She's not even an African American, okay? She was raised in Canada. She did almost all of her schooling in Canada. She went to high school in Canada. She's an African Canadian more than an African American. She doesn't understand America. She doesn't understand the African American experience, you know? And this race card, she might do well with the race card in some debates, but when she gets out there in the country, I really do believe, you know, I was talking earlier about, it used to be a rarity to find a conservative Jew. Now they're all over the place. A lot of Jews have woken up. So have a lot of blacks under Donald Trump, okay? A lot of blacks have really woken up under Donald Trump. And that's a reality, okay? And I think the race card, you know, you're dealing with a generation, when you talk about young blacks today, which I mean age, you know, under 50, okay? You're talking about people that never experienced segregation, racism, discrimination. They had a 2-term black president. These old race card things are, you know, like Joe Biden's a man from another time. The race card is another time to this generation because they've never had that experience, you know? So that's the way of it. We'll take our last break of the show, come back with the Gold Report. I'm Brian. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show. Florida's the longest running radio show. We'll be right back.
The medical care they need for a lot of reasons. My deductible is too high. I don't have insurance. My schedule is too hectic. I just can't afford it. The time for excuses is over. Thanks to Any Lab Test Now of Plantation, where they guarantee the lowest prices.
Come on, guys. I'm 3 away from 3,300. You guys can't get me to 3,300?
Full cholesterol lipid panel, $28. Complete thyroid panel, $49. Diabetic A1C test, only $27. No doctor's order or prescription needed. All testing is always anonymous and confidential. In and out in 15 minutes or less. Most results in 24 to 48 hours. Make sure to ask about their allergy testing, which includes micronutrient and environmental allergens, and vitamin deficiency test, drug testing, you name it. Any Lab Test Now at Plantation, probably test for it. Any Lab Test Now at Plantation is located at 8367 West Sunrise Boulevard in the Jacaranda Plaza on the corner of University Drive and Sunrise Boulevard in Plantation. Give them a call, 954-916-1072. 954-916-1072. Online, labtestingplantation.com. Take control of your health with Any Lab Test Now of Plantation. 954-916-1072.
This is Steve Kane, and I want to tell you about a great Italian restaurant right here in the heart of Coral Springs, Tavolino della Notte. Tavolino della Notte, open for lunch and dinner. Listen to some of these incredible dishes. The Snapper Vesuvio, yellowtail snapper with artichoke hearts, capers, and roasted red peppers. Or how about the veal Asiago, sauteed with shallots, artichokes, brandy cream, and melted with Asiago cheese? It will make your mouth water. Tavolino della Notte, open for lunch and dinner, located about a mile west of University Drive on the north side of Sample Road. You can call for a reservation at 954-509-0046. And when you're there, just
3,300. Thank you, guys.
Steve Kane told you
Jeez.
to ask, who is John Gold?
That was hard enough.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire of Margate, where they have all the major name brand tires
Hey there.
like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for a Sienna van at the other tire shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the tire shops around town. Friendly Tire, only $65. That's more than a 50% savings. Those prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of used tires too at $30 for most sizes. Call my good buddy Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. 445. Online, friendlytire.net.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search.
All righty, we're back. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show. Steve will be back live in studio tomorrow. All right, it's time for the Gold Report. William Youngerman from William Youngerman Incorporated's Boca Raton offices. William Youngerman, good morning.
Good morning, Brian. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are the metals doing?
Metal's doing very well. Still in a bit of a trading range, anticipating the rate cut from the Fed. However, most of the market's waiting to see what kind of cut we'll get. A quarter point is already in the markets, we believe, but if by some miracle they should drop the rate by a half a point, that would send, we believe, gold skyrocketing up to that intraday high that we had a couple weeks ago of $1,450. And then well on its way to the $1,500 mark that we're looking for. But in the meantime, gold was up $4.30 yesterday, closing at $1,430.40 towards the higher end of our trading ranges that we've been in. Silver up 11 cents at $16.54. We talked about that ratio to gold on silver to gold, which at the peak was around 93 to 1 ounces of gold about a few weeks ago. And now it's about 87 or a little bit less than 80 to 1. That ratio, what that interprets to mean that silver has gone up $1.
Wow.
Without in the change of that ratio over and above gold. So that's a huge move for silver, and it's been indicative of a market that is kind of verifying the gold bull market. When we see silver follow suit like that, if that ratio continues to fall, we could see silver hit $20 real soon.
Wow.
We had closed yesterday at $16.54 on silver, down up at 11 cents. Platinum was down $10 at $8.69, and palladium was down $39 at $14.95. This morning we've got gold down a little bit, down 40 cents at $1,430 the ounce, while silver's down 12 cents at $16.42. Platinum up $1 at $870 the ounce, and palladium up $12, regaining some of that big loss from yesterday at $1,507. Palladium still having pretty much of a base of around 50. And that's pretty much where we are.
Well, you know, that news on silver is great. I know a lot of people have a lot of silver because, you know, it's a little bit of a lower price. So people, at what point should people think, because a lot of times people want to turn their silver into gold because silver takes up more space than gold. At what price should people be thinking about turning the silver into gold?
Well, we could see the ratio. When gold got up to $1,900 back in 2008, you had a ratio of just around 45 to 1.
Wow.
That would put silver at, well over into the 20s, maybe even into $30 range. So I think silver can double even.
So the recommendation is hold the silver for now. Hold the silver for now. Things are going well. Well, listen. Give William Youngerman a call. 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. Online, WilliamYoungerman.com. Located in Boca Raton on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow. All right, take care. Take care. Wow, that's some great information. All right, well, just got a few minutes left. So tonight's the big debate, and tonight you got the big mouths, and we got Cory Booker, Joe Biden, and of course Kamala Harris. So these three are going to be duking it out tonight on who's going to be the leader, who's going to be the front runner when this is done. And I agree, as I always agree, with Donald Trump. Joe Biden's going to be, Kamala Harris is a lightweight. She went up against a senile old man and had a good moment weeks ago. And going back to that, she's going to find her. Joe Biden has moments of clarity, and he's good. He's a skilled politician. I expect him to make a very good run at putting her in her place tonight. Don't you? I do. And she's very vulnerable on a number of things. Cory Booker is not electable nationally. Just that one article he wrote about date rape when he was in college, he's not electable. She's not electable. Not that Biden's electable, but he's more nominatable. I mean, when I talk about this a lot, when you look at this field, Obama was a different thing, okay? First black president, first black nominee. That was when you look at these others that are running, even Biden really, very few accomplishments. What has Kamala Harris accomplished? What has Cory Booker accomplished? Mayor Pete, Elizabeth Warren. What if any of them, Bernie Sanders didn't have a steady paycheck till he was 40 years old, and he got elected mayor of that town, right, in Vermont. What list of what have any of them ever done? You know, I know you might say a lot of politicians are do-nothings, but some of them have done some things. What legislation, because they've spent their whole career in the legislative body, right, especially Joe Biden. What piece of legislation did he pass that he brags about? Same goes for Kamala. Same goes for Cory Booker. They have done nothing. They're a bunch of do-nothing talkers. It's a mock debate society is what the Democrat debates are. Now, again, you know, my question would be, if I were moderating the debate, my question would be, last time they said, raise your hand if you support health care for undocumented immigrants. My question would be, please raise your hand if you support ridding Baltimore of rats. And while we all may agree, I mean, think about what Trump has done. Trump is amazing. He's got the Democrats actually supporting poor black people in Baltimore living with rats. I want you to think about that for a moment. I mean, that's what they're doing, because Trump wants to remove the rats and the trash and the crime from Baltimore. They want it there. Trump has them supporting things that are just universally wrong. I think universally we don't want to live around rats. But not the Democrats. The Democrats now want people to live among rats, because to say they shouldn't live with rats, well, that's racist, don't you know? You know, and these, it's so sad that these debates aren't real debates asking real questions. Because raising your hand if you support ridding Baltimore of rats, I think you would see some of them start to raise their hand and put it down. It would just be a question of how high the hand got. But, well, wait a minute, that's a Trump idea. I got to put my hand down. And at the end of the debate, you might have one of them raise their hand. Yes, I don't want rats in Baltimore. But the rest of them would keep their hands down, because Trump wants to get rid of the rats in Baltimore, so they are against removing them. They're for rat rights now. Now, I expect the people from PETA, that is a real question. And that would be, asking them if they want to rid Baltimore of rats would cause an inner conflict of indecisiveness among the Democrats in the debate. And that right there should disqualify. If you don't raise your hand immediately, you should be disqualified immediately. Hey, listen, guys, it is time to say goodbye. Great show today. I had a good time. Show flew by. If the show flies by, that's what I know. It's been a good show. My name's Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Steve Kane will be back live in studio tomorrow, and I'll see you at 6 a.m. tomorrow. Take care, guys. Oh, boy, oh, boy. All right, guys, on Periscope. See you later. Oh, now, again, Liberty Eagle. I know I've been talking about this a lot because I got to talk about it. I don't know what's going on with Liberty Eagle. I don't know why this happened. But Liberty Eagle is going away. Everyone has left Liberty Eagle but me. It could close down at any time. So if you're on Liberty Eagle, I put the links on the Liberty Eagle page. I put them throughout the chat through the whole show, but I put them actually on the page to my YouTube channel, Brian Craig on YouTube. I live stream on YouTube. I also put a link to my Facebook group, but I'd rather you go to YouTube. But Brian Craig on YouTube. I also have the link to my Facebook group, because one day it's just I'm not going to be able to access Liberty Eagle anymore. I don't know if that's going to be tomorrow or next year, but everyone's gone now but me. So eventually the page will be shut down. And I don't want to lose you guys, because we've been with you guys for a long time now. So if you're a Liberty Eagle person, Brian Craig on YouTube. All right, I did put also the link to my Facebook group. All right, guys, on Liberty Eagle. See you later, hopefully. If not, you'll know where to find me. All right, take care, Liberty Eagle. All right, now, how many people, is there anyone in here not subscribed on YouTube? Is everyone subscribed? I hope you're subscribed. Yeah, I take this microphone home. Actually, what I'm doing today I have to meet one of our sponsors in about 20 minutes at their office. I'm going to record some new commercials at their office. So I bring a lot of my equipment with me that I do that with. Let me see what I got. Did I break 3,300? Let's see if I broke 3,300 on YouTube. He just took today off. 3301, that's okay. Well, if you're not subscribed, subscribe. Click the notifications, all right? Okay, guys, on YouTube, I will see you guys later. All right, take care.